Live. Week two, week two. We are live. What's going on, guys? New York Jets, Buffalo Bills coming at you from MetLife Stadium. Thank you guys for joining. Let me know who's in here so I can shout you guys out. Move Gaming in the chat. It's a big game for both teams. The Jets don't want to start 0-2. That would be nightmare fuel. A team that's going to need it to win some big games to make the playoffs this year. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the Bills coming off a roller coaster game against the Ravens. They need to solidify themselves as a legit threat and not someone that just relies on their quarterback. A win against the Jets today would do just that. About 10 minutes away from kickoff here. And we got to look at this Bills team and determine if they can play like they did in the fourth quarter throughout the remainder of the season. A fourth quarter that was filled with Josh Allen just slinging the ball down the field, some deep ball routes that we didn't see for the first three quarters of that game. Joshua Palmer, somebody who I'm highlighting today, has to show up yet again and prove that he can be a true number two wide receiver on this team. Keon Coleman, same thing there. He's got to be a number two. Shakir's your slot guy. You know what you're getting with Khalil Shakir. Deonta Jenkins getting a big time start today off the practice squad. Keep your eyes on him. I thought he was very good in preseason. Other guys to keep your eyes on today, I think somebody like Cole Bishop will be a good guy to kind of monitor on defense. That safety position was very weak in week one. A Ravens offense that really doesn't pass the ball all that much. When they did, Zay Flowers was still finding the holes in the zone. And when they were running the ball, the safeties were getting run over by Derrick Henry. So keep an eye on Cole Bishop and the rest of the safeties today. On the flip side, we know the Jets offense is talented. Garrett Wilson, we know they have a plethora of running backs, Allen and Hall, that they are going to try to run up the gut for big time yardage against an Ed Oliver-less Bills defensive front. Walker going to get most of the reps at D tackle. He was taking reps over other rookie TJ Sanders, so both of them will get a good amount of reps, but it looks like Walker's going to get the start today, which is a little bit concerning, I guess, because TJ Sanders was taken before Walker, but at the same time, Walker probably has more upside. So it's good to see both of them, and they have a huge opportunity today. Sawyer, how's it going? Where is Jimmy Charlo? Yeah, no Jimmy Charlo this week. A lot of people were kind of hyping it up, thinking that maybe he would get the call up for the injury of Shaq Thompson, but not the case. Jimmy Charlo is going to stay on the practice squad, though I'm sure he'll get reps, whether it's with the Bills or another team later down the line in this season. So I don't think we have to worry too much about Jimmy Charlo not playing this week. The Jets defense, on the other hand, showed all of their weaknesses in week one, much like the Bills defense, letting up 4 passing touchdowns to Aaron Rodgers and even more points than that. If their defense played somewhat well, the Jets win that game 10 out of 10 times, but their defense let them down, much like the Bills defense let them down in week one. The difference was the Bills offense was able to overcome the defensive failures, whereas the Jets couldn't get it done on their last minute drive. Of course, a drive that was stalled out by a Wilson drop. Jalen Ramsey absolutely smoked him, and the ball fell out of his hands on what would have been an easy completion for a first down. I've always said, going back to the preseason and into this season, the Jets are going to be a real threat this year, and I was definitely proved right last week. I think the Jets look good against the Steelers. Well, it'll be interesting to see this divisional matchup. Of course, no matter what happens, these two teams are going to play again later in the season. So I'm sure there'll be a little bit of gamesmanship in the beginning, right? These teams don't want to show each other everything that they got in the playbook, but a very important win for whoever wins. What's going on, Prime? What's going on, Victor? Um, Again, big Bills fan here, but I'm also a Mets fan, and the Mets are in the middle of an epic collapse, and they're half a game in the playoffs, and that starts at 1:40. So my mind will be going all over the place today. But welcome in. Game is on CBS if anyone's wondering and wants to watch along with the stream. We got Tony Romo and Jim Nantz as our commentators today. Two of my favorites. Drink of the day. Rocking another one of these. We got grape today, so I'll be drinking this throughout the stream. Yeah, Sawyer, the Yankees looking a little better than the Mets right now. The Mets, unfortunately, not as good. But I do think Ed Oliver not playing is going to be a little bit less of a factor than some fans are saying. A lot of people think the world is ending that Ed Oliver's not playing. It's simply not the case. The Bills have a ton of depth on that defensive line, and a defensive line that kind of each week has one or two guys that show out. It's never consistent, but I think somebody else will step up, whether that's Joey Bosa or Greg Rousseau. I think somebody has a big game to cancel out the loss of Ed Oliver. Also, good news with Ed Oliver, he was not put on the IR, meaning he probably won't miss 4 weeks. Could miss 3, but if they were certain or thought that he was going to have to miss 4 or more weeks, they would have put him on IR to get the extra roster spot. So no doubt about it, Ed Oliver will be back within the next 3 weeks, which is positive news, especially early on in the season where 3 weeks doesn't matter as much as it would have, say this happened in week 15, 16. All of a sudden, that's a major concern. Not a major concern. So they're singing the national anthem here in MetLife in New Jersey. And then once this gets over with, they will be underway. Victor says we've won many games from stretches without Oliver. Jets fans think it's our demise. Nope, exactly. Yeah, it's it's a big loss. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like again. I think the only loss of a player that would really cancel out the Bills would be Josh Allen. Anyone else, I think they could win without if it's just one or two. Taron Johnson not playing on defense, that added with Ed Oliver is not great, but Tre'Davious White does come back. What version of Tre'Davious White will we see? That's the question. Will we see prime time Tre'Davious White when he was at his peak with the Bills, or will we see, post injury Tre'Davious White when he was with the Ravens? That is yet to be seen. Again, we're hoping that Tre'Davious White can reach some of his peaks. We know he's not going to be the same player he once was, but again, he's not super old. It's just the injuries that have kind of weighed him down. Let me know in the comments or in the live chat right now. Give me score predictions for today. I want to see where your guys' heads are at. If there's Jets fans in here, maybe you guys are picking the Jets. Bills fans, maybe you're picking the Bills, or maybe you guys are switching up on each other and going with an upset here or there. I got the Bills winning. Our entire BSC panel had the Bills winning this week, which was, I'd say, expected, especially after week one. The Ravens outlook to be one of the best teams in the NFL this year, and the Bills were able to take them down. Meanwhile, the Jets' defense just looked so bad that I don't think anyone was willing to pick the Jets over the Bills in week two. National media has been most of the same. I've seen a lot, I'd say 80 to 90% of people picking the Bills in this game. A 6.5 point spread, though, is no joke. I don't know if I would bet the Bills to cover that. Sawyer says Jets keep it close, 31-24, almost like the UB Kent State game. Yeah, how about that UB game? Kent State, one of the worst football programs in the last 5 years, able to take UB to the final seconds. Not a good look for UB football whatsoever, but a win is a win, and they're 2-1. Prime says 24-17. But Prime's got a little lower scoring than Sawyer. Yeah, Kent State doesn't look that bad this year. Yeah, they were able to pick up a win earlier on in the season, but it was against some random terrible team. We'll see though. Again, Mac can switch it up. Sometimes some MAC schools get projected to finish last, and they finish third in the division. It's a lot different than a Power 5 conference that you kind of know what you're going into before the season. But a huge day of college football. Billy, Ed Oliver out for a year per sources. Yeah, not the case. Not the case, but Ed Oliver out for a little bit. That does hinder. Again, if you guys are in here, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're gaining subscribers at a rapid rate. Just good to see. Again, we'll be live for every Bills game, every Sabres game this season, no matter what happens. 3,117 subscribers. That is over 120 subs from the last week of preseason. So that's a really good gain there. That's about 2 weeks for 100 subs. We will take that all day long. All right, Sawyer, go Bills. Have a good one. So they're hyping up the Thursday night game. I guess before this game starts, we're moments away from kickoff. Let's talk about next week because it's a short week for the Bills coming up, which could have impacted the decision to bench or not bench, but hold out Taron Johnson. I was told he was close but not able to play. So maybe holding him out this week will allow him to play on the short week Thursday. Thursday night against the Dolphins. The Dolphins play the Patriots today at home. The Patriots are wearing dark jerseys, I believe, and they're going to be in like 120-degree heat on that sunny sideline. So if the Miami Dolphins cannot beat the Patriots with the biggest home field advantage, which is the heat in Miami in the league, then I don't think they're going to be able to hang with the Bills. Never know. I mean, Keon Coleman, what a game last week from him. He's somebody who's right on the edge. But yeah, he's somebody who I think can become a true number one in this league. The only issue with him is his ability to get separation, right? His speed just isn't there. So we gotta kind of hope that Keon Coleman can continue to develop and get stronger throughout the years. But that one catch along the sidelines where he jumped up, went and got it. The tip ball was kind of lucky, so I'm not going to count that touchdown for him. But right position, right place, I guess. Certainly had a big fourth quarter. That catch at the end too to get the Bills down to the 10 to set up the chip shot field goal. Something that you have to monitor, you have to look for, and something that you sure as heck have to respect from Keon Coleman, somebody who we've been told all training camp is growing into a scary, scary wide receiver, which is something we haven't seen here in Buffalo since Stephon Diggs. But we're returning here. We're getting ready for kickoff now. Tony Romo on the call. Always a fun time. Looks like, let's see, they're just coming out here now. I think the Bills are going to be kicking the ball off. Don't know for sure yet. Aaron Glenn, new head coach for the New York Jets, has done exactly what he's needed to do since getting there. I think he's built a culture in New York that they haven't seen in quite some time. So whether the Jets have a good season or not, you have to respect Aaron Glenn's ability to kind of rally the troops throughout this early part of the season. And a win against the Bills today would do wonders. Let me know in the live chat right now, who do you think gets the first touchdown of this game? Let me know in the chat. Let's see if anyone can predict it correctly. Again, leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new. Donation goal today. See if we can hit that donation goal. Also, membership is open as well. Still one member away from adding a new emote. Bills will kick the ball away with the Buffalo folk hero, Matt Prater. Ladies and gentlemen, we are under off week 2. As the Jets do their chant, kickoff to about the 10. Returned by Isaiah Davis, and he gets tackled at about the 36-yard line. So they gained 1 extra yard rather than if Matt Prater were to just kick it in the back of the end zone. That's fine. Let me know in the chat. Who do you guys have scoring the first touchdown? Which player? Jets offense on the field, an offense that is very talented. A little bit different structured than the Bills saw with the Ravens last week. But same sort of thing. A mobile quarterback who could throw. Good running back. First play. Going to be a handoff to Hall out wide. Matt Milano gets a finger on him, and Hall has to run out of bounds for about a 2-yard gain. Good start for this Bills defense. Something I saw from Justin Fields last week, and I touched on this in the preview, is his ability to move up in the pocket and still keep his eyes downfield. That's something that Justin Fields hasn't really been able to do his NFL career. He's always been kind of a run first guy. He's been able to kind of transform his game so far this season. Still very, very early on into it. Second play is going to be a run up the middle, and that one's blown up by Matt Milano. A loss of 4. 3rd and 11 coming up for the Bills defense to defend. Matt Milano read that one unblocked into the backfield, and Hall went nowhere. Cam Lewis also in on the tackle. Milano celebrating. The linebackers didn't look all that good last week. Bills linebackers and Matt Milano looking a heck of a lot better through 2 minutes of play this week. Again, still too early on to make a judgment. 3rd and 11, you know it's going to be a pass. Fields drops back, looks downfield. Nobody can get to him. Over the middle, almost picked off, incomplete. He had Wilson open. He overthrew him, and Benford almost picked it off. 4th and 11, great start for the Bills, forcing a punt. We take a look at the replay. He had him wide open. Benford was playing behind him. That's not a good start for Justin Fields. I was hyping him up a little bit, but McNamara punts it for the Jets. A good punt, caught it around the 10. Codrington takes it up, and he will go out of bounds at about the 20. The out strolls Josh Allen and the Bills' a lethal offense. Not too many factors out on the offense this week, so the Bills at full strength, offensive line still healthy. If Sean McDermott sticks with his game plan, we will see a good mix of runs and passes. Again, he loves his complementary football. Starting the drive at the 19-yard line of their own, the Bills. James Cook in the backfield. Allen under center. Elijah Moore in motion. It's going to be a wideout handoff to him. Tries to get the edge. He cuts it inside. It's going to be a gain of 3. Something we saw a little bit last week. Some of these handoffs to receivers out wide. Thank you guys for joining the stream. Big time game here for both teams. 2nd and 8 for the Bills. Reggie Gilliam in motion. It's going to be a fake handoff. Allen looking for someone. He's got room to run if he wants. He's going to throw it to the sidelines. It's out of bounds. Trying to throw it to Shavers. The ball was a little bit overthrown. Jason, how's it going? And this is something we've seen so far this season. Allen a little bit reluctant to run, trying to look downfield for the throw and overthrew it. So 3rd down for this Jets defense. 3rd and 8. Ty Johnson, I believe, in the backfield. The 3rd down back with his red gloves on. In there to block for Allen as he retrieves the snap. He's going to take off. He's going to run up the middle, and he gets it in a whole lot more. Allen over the 50 to the 45, stiff-arming a defender and tackled out of bounds at the 45, but there is a flag. And the flag is by the line of scrimmage. Most likely a hold. Let's see if this flag or this play was all for nothing. Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. A massive play for this Bills offense. That one's on Michael Carter. Victor says, Cal, at some point do you see Poyer getting some playing time? I do. I think the safety group is pretty weak on this team, and it might be a hot take to say I think Poyer plays, but if an injury occurs or if these safeties continue to look how they are, I think you got to give the guy a chance. He knows the system, right? Listen to Jason, like the stream. So now the Bills are already all the way at the 35. That's going to be caught by Kincaid, and it'll be down at around the 30. 2nd and 6 coming up for the Bills. I love this new CBS score bug. Got the scores in the top left. I'll let you guys know any score updates, so don't worry about checking your phones for score updates or pulling up other screens. I got you guys. If anything happens, I'll let you know. 2nd and 6. Allen hands it off to Cook. Cook up the middle, trying to find a hole. He falls forward for a gain of around 4. So we'll have a 3rd and 2 in no man's land. You got to assume if the Bills don't pick this up, they will go for it on 4th down. So that is funny. I complain about Allen not running it, and the very next play takes it himself for 40 something. Ray Davis now the 3rd down back, lined up behind Allen. Ray Davis hasn't looked good so far this year. We'll see if he can get a big time gain if they hand it off to him. They do. Ray Davis up the middle, and he falls forward for only 1. Obvious running play, and now it's 4th and 1. Bills offense still out there. Now we'll see if they try the old tush push that hasn't been that effective for the Bills this year. Ray Davis just continues to not be able to get the yardage he is asked to get. Would have been a 43-yard field goal, but the Bills are going to go for it on 4th and 1. Will it be the tush push? Kincaid is out there. Ray Davis in the backfield. 5 seconds left on the play clock. Allen snaps and he's going to hand it to Ray Davis again. This time he gets it in a little bit more. 1st down, Bills. That's a huge play for Ray Davis. Huge play. Somebody who hasn't been having a good season. I know it's only a week and a half in, but that's a big run for him to get his confidence up. Last week, didn't really get that much yards at all. Had a near fumble. Big time mental play for Ray Davis. Isaiah Moore in motion here. Allen under center. Hands it off to Cook. Cook cuts up top. And he's going to get wrapped up for about a gain of 3. So not a bad 1st down play for the Bills. You'll take some yardage. 2nd and 6. The Bills approach the red zone. Detroit already up 7-0 on the Bears. A game we are all assuming Detroit to get there. Shout out Jason again, one of our members, certified subscriber, says, "Let's go Buffalo, let's go Jason." Thanks for joining today. Allen on 2nd and 6 looks. Still looking, he's scrambling in the pocket and he shovels it away. Defense asking for intentional grounding. I think Allen was outside the pocket. Did not get the ball to the line of scrimmage. But they're going to ask if there's a receiver in the area. Intentional grounding, one of those rules that it's very confusing for somebody who doesn't know all the intricacies of football. So even if you do, it's still a confusing rule. It didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage at all. And there it is. Intentional grounding is called. So now it will be 3rd and long for the Bills. Mental blunder by Allen. You just got to throw that away at that point. Turn and throw it away. Yeah, Jason, I agree. You got to go for that early on in the game. But they might end up having to take a field goal anyway because we're at 3rd and 19 now after that intentional grounding call. Ball at the 30. Ty Johnson in motion along with Shakir. Allen in the backfield all alone. 5 wide. Allen, not much time to throw it. He's going to take it to his check down. Shakir unable to come up with it. But there is a flag. Oh, boy, it might be roughing the passer. And there it is, roughing the passer. So the Bills will get the first down right back. 15-yard penalty. What a dumb penalty on the Jets. Michael Clemens. Let's take a look at this replay. Yeah. Helmet to helmet contact. Can't do it. Can't do it. Yep. That's the NFL for you. You cannot hit the quarterback in the head. And Aaron Glenn is fired up, as he should be. Ball all the way to the 15-yard line now for this Bills offense. 1st and 10. Moore in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Cook up the middle. He's got some room, and he goes all the way for a gain of 8. He's 2nd and 2. I agree. The Jets kind of really hurting themselves so far this game. Seattle up 7-0 on Pittsburgh. Chicago 7-6 now, assuming that's a touchdown pending the extra point. So probably going to be tied up there. New England already up a touchdown on Miami. Allen hands it off to Cook. Cook up the middle and stumbles all the way to the goal line. He's short. But it'll be a 1st and goal, and now the Bills can kind of have their pick of the litter who they want to get this touchdown. No, Jason, you're behind again. I'm way ahead of you in the chat. You're good. You are good. Allen at the 2, hands it off to Cook. Cook dives in, and he is across the line. Touchdown. James Cook gets the party started. A methodical drive for the Bills, saved by a roughing the passer call. Ends up with a touchdown on the board, and it looks like a good amount of Bills fans made the trip to MetLife, celebrating in the end zone with Cook. Nice elusive move for the newly paid prime running back. Rams up 7-0 on the Titans, a game we're all expecting the Rams to win. Yep. All right, Jason. If you're a little behind, you can just pause our stream and try to match it up. The good news, I do have the satellite here, so I should be timed up with everyone watching it live. If you're streaming it, as Prater nails the extra point, 7-0. If you guys are a little bit behind, you could always just pause the stream. It's super easy, easier than trying to pause your TV to sync up with me. So it's better for me to be ahead than you guys. Yeah, Paramount Plus is always pretty late just because they're getting it off stream instead of satellite. But that's a great start for the Bills. Much like last week, the offense looks good on their first drive. They marched right down the field, able to punch it in for 6. There you go, Jason. Yeah, just pause the stream a little bit, and if you're commenting a little bit late, it's fine. I'll read it at the appropriate time. Don't worry. Now the Bills have to get another stop on defense. You got to take momentum of this game. If you could go up like 2 scores on the Jets, you should be able to kind of slowly work them to the ground. If you allow them to tie this game up real quick, though, all of a sudden, it's a brand new game. And we do have our donation goal on the stream as well. If you guys want to hit that, get that out of the way in the first quarter. Or if anyone wants to become a member, you get podcast videos all early. Again, if you're a Sabres fan in here, we're streaming every single Sabres game, all 82 of them this year. It's going to be challenging, but between me and Don, we're going to get it done. I know Don has put in the ones in our calendar that he's going to be streaming, and then I will be doing the rest, and we'll make sure we get it done for you guys. The first Sabres game of the season is in less than a month. Don will be doing that one, so that leaves me the opportunity to go to that one. Might be the only Sabres game I can go to that they're still in the playoff on, so might have to do it. But a good start for the Bills. Let's go. We got a camera shot, and Deion Dawkins' wife or girlfriend, I don't know for sure, is in the background with a 73 chain. I don't think they intended to clip her in that shot, but see her in the back there. And if you're a Jets fan, you got to just despise Josh Allen. I mean, the same thing goes for Dolphins fans, but just continuously destroying. And they're showing highlights and they're showing Dable on the Jumbotron there. So I don't know if that's common in MetLife for them to kind of show both teams, but Matt Prater now ready to kick this ball off. Hopefully, he kicks it a little deeper than he did last time. He does. It's going to be fielded around the 3. And good special teams tackle there. Down at the 17-yard line. Tua looking like a sideshow against New England. Not good. Yeah. That's a game we got to monitor as AFC East fans, I guess. Miami not looking good, but they lose big again. They are going to be extra motivated against us on a short week Thursday. Jets offense from the 18. Fields, he's going to throw, play action. Good coverage from the Bills defense so far. Fields in trouble. He's going to take it, and he is stripped of the ball! And the Bills come up with it. Joey Bosa strips him. AJ Epinesa comes up with the ball. Now let's take a look at the replay to make sure Fields wasn't down. It looked like he was headed towards the ground. I think the ball was out. Big play by Bosa. Let's see. Bosa lowers the boom, and then punch out by Bosa. Milano is the one who led with his head. A clear-cut fumble covered by A.J. Epinesa. That's going to be Buffalo Bills football. Rough start for Justin Fields. See if the Bills can bang home a quick touchdown. So Chicago and Detroit are tied. It's a game to monitor. Two teams that looked somewhat good in week 1, but not good enough. Bills got the ball at the 23-yard line. Very short field on this drive. Anything less than a touchdown would be a disappointment. Cook in the backfield. Allen is going to hand it off to him. Travels up the middle for around 4. Tracy Wolfson, our sideline commentator today. Letting us know that the Bills went through a walkthrough on Thursday instead of a practice to limit injuries. Again, that's the trickiest part as a coach, is balancing the amount of practice and preparation, and how much injury you're going to risk versus how rusty you look. Allen now fakes the pitch. He's going to look with the pass, and it is caught by Dawson Knox for the first down and more, down at the 13-yard line. Bills tight ends have looked very solid so far this season. Kincaid had a big game in week 1. Knox looked solid. Jackson Hawes had that big catch towards the end of that game. Dawson Knox gets the Bills tight end started today. Again, if you guys are new in here, leave a like and subscribe. Helps us out a ton. Every game we're streaming, every Bills game, every Sabres game. Donations are also open too if you guys are so inclined. 12-yard line, the Bills are at 1st and 10. Allen in the pocket. He throws. Oh, boy. Threw a screenplay to Johnson, and he was lit up the second that ball touched him by Quincy Williams. Ball came out, but they're ruling it incomplete, not a fumble. So the Bills screen game, still not all that great. It looks like David Edwards was the one to miss his block. Deion Dawkins also got kind of undressed on his block. So just an overall bad play for the Bills offense. Not the worst case scenario, though. Ty Johnson, smart play, right? If you're behind the line of scrimmage and about to get blown up, just drop the ball. It's incomplete. Not the worst. Elijah Moore in motion. Cook next to Allen in shotgun. Allen hands it off to Cook. Cook cuts it up, now cuts it back. It's going to be a gain of 2. And we'll have a 3rd and 8 approaching. Big play for the Bills. Statement play. You'd think they'd take a shot to the end zone. And so far this game, they've been thinking and dunking, using the run game, not letting Josh Allen use his arm all that much. Tough to do that when you're in these short yardage situations, though. You only got a couple yards to work with. And then that back end zone kind of handcuffs an offense with a gunslinger. 3rd and 8, Allen. Oh, boy. Blocking was not there, but he finds some space, throws it out of bounds. Overthrown to Kincaid in the end zone, and now the Bills will have to kick a field goal on 4th and 8. But there is a flag, I think. Nope, no flag. I think there is a flag, yeah. Allen was pointing like it was a 1st down. The refs are meeting right now. They're talking to Glenn, so I think it's going to be an offensive flag. Offsides on the offense on Joshua Palmer. Going to be declined. An interesting penalty. So yeah, Palmer lined up in the neutral zone or over the line in some way. Either way, not a good play design at all. Nobody blocked, nobody was open. And that'll send Matt Prater out for his first field goal opportunity of the day. 3 for 3 last week. Capped off by the game winner. Let's see if he could remain perfect as a Bill. 28-yard chip shot. If you miss this, you're not good. Prater, right down the middle. 10-0. Bills. A little bit disappointing not to tack on a touchdown there, but to go up by 2 scores when the Jets got the ball first in this game, you cannot complain. Defense looks really solid to start this game as well. As we go to commercial break, 10-0 Bills. So James Cook, I mean, again, if you guys bet in the chat, if you guys do any parlays and stuff, James Cook over half a touchdown every single week will most likely hit. I think that is the most reliable bet if you're talking about the Bills. James Cook is always the guy they go to in those, first and goal from the 3 or second and goal from the 2. They'll just send it out on an outside handoff and usually gets in. This Jets team, they got to get going. They got to maybe take a deep shot to start this next drive. So they need something, some momentum to get them going. You got to know that Taron Johnson isn't playing, Ed Oliver isn't playing. You got to try to beat the Bills in their weaknesses. Right now, they're not. They tried a couple runs up the middle, but the Bills were anticipating them. Milano able to stop those. And then great downfield coverage on that last Jets offensive play that led to the fumble. Milano and Bosa were able to get to Fields in time. If you're the Jets, I would let Fields take a couple deep balls. On that early 3rd down, he overthrew his man, which was Wilson, but you got to try a deep ball, get something going. make the Bills start respecting the pass a little bit more so you can open up that run game. And that's something you're not going to be able to do if you let this game slip out of your hands. You need points on this drive. If they don't get points, the Bills can pretty much just sit, and the run game's not going to matter at that point. Patriots taking it to the Dolphins, love it. Yeah, it's kind of a revolving door in the AFC East. Who's going to be the threat to the Bills? And that's something the Patriots had to deal with for the longest time with Tom Brady, right? Like, we're number one, who's going to be number two? And it kind of rotated. The Bills weren't that team near, ever until they finally broke the drought. But between the Jets and the Dolphins, it kind of flip flopped. And now the Bills are dealing with that, where we don't know which AFC East team is legit. Sometimes it's going to be two of them. Sometimes there's just one. Sometimes it's none of them. Looks like the Patriots are going to be that team this year, but we're still early on. Could still be the Jets. The Dolphins could have a miraculous turnaround. They have a lot of good talent on that team. They're just not gelling. Kickoff by Prater, fielded at the 4-yard line. And another good tackle by the special teams. Down around the 22. Franklin on the tackle. Back-to-back kickoffs that Franklin's had a really nice tackle on special teams. Shout out Sam Franklin, somebody who the Bills signed right before the season started to be their special team guru, I guess you could say. Not going to see the field too much on defense, but so far impressing on special teams. Exactly what he was brought in here to do. And if you know the Bills, you know they value special teams over almost anything else. Got number 51 on the Jets injured, holding his right wrist, something to monitor as he heads off to the sidelines. Fields lined up in the eye. Looks like a clear run play. See if they try play action. Nope, run right up the middle. That additional blocking worked. Hall up the middle for 12. Finally brought down by Bishop and Rapp. There's a little bit of smarts from the Jets offense. If we're going to run it, you might as well bring out all the run blockers. 12-0 Patriots. What a ball from Drake May. The booty. Seems like McDermott's defense is better prepared. Yeah, remember they're taking on still a good offense, but not as tricky as the Ravens. The Ravens' offense is very dynamic. You really got to guess with their offense. Fields is going to throw it here on 1st and 10. Over the middle, wide open is Wilson, and he's demolished by Taylor Rapp at the 45-yard line. But he bounces right back up in a good play by the Jets. So they're starting to move the ball in chunks. Back-to-back first down plays. The Bills had some good pass rush on that play. That was Walker that almost got through. But Wilson, the Jets' most talented wide receiver, is able to find this spot in the zone. 1st and 10 from the 45. Jets, a little bit of trickery now, and oh, what a tackle from Christian Benford. A little reverse play, and he ended up losing probably 10 yards. What a tackle by Christian Benford, who I will continue to say is a top 10 cornerback in the league, hands down. And Benford read that play immediately, didn't care about Wilson at all, went right towards the backfield. And yeah, I think they lost around 10 yards on that play. 2nd and 20. Now the Jets and Fields, he's going to throw. Bills, no pressure this time, thrown towards the sidelines. Did he get both feet in? He did. Tre'Davious White was on the coverage, but it's caught, so it's going to be 3rd and 1. Tre'Davious White's first. Oh, but there's a flag. And it looks like this one might be headed back. Let's see. Flag on the play. Victor, just as you say that, Tre'Davious White was on the coverage for that last play. Everyone seems to be moving back, so this play's probably not going to stand. But maybe it will. They're kind of huddling up. They're talking to McDermott, and what they're probably telling him is it might have not been a catch. So do you want to review the catch, or do you just want to take the penalty and make it 2nd and 25? Let's see. So offsides on the offense, and the penalty was declined, but yes, the ruling was incomplete. So it's going to be 3rd and 20. So that's exactly what it was. So let's take a look at this replay and see if it was complete or not. 1 foot in, and when the second foot got down, it was out of bounds. So good coverage by Tre'Davious White. It was incomplete. The penalty doesn't matter. 3rd and 20 now. Fields, the Bills, and incomplete. Throw was behind Wilson at midfield. They tried to check down, didn't work, and the Jets are going to have to punt. So another penalty on the Jets ends up killing the drive. Undisciplined team so far. Something that Aaron Glenn, I'm sure, is not going to be happy about when that offense jogs off the field now. I'm sure he's going to lay into them about these penalties. And a little bit of trickery for the Jets does not work. Again, they kept it simple, had a power run and a nice throw up the middle, and all of a sudden they tried a little bit of trickery, and it went backwards for 10 yards. Jets were unable to gain any more yardage. McNamara punts it. Going to bounce all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Codrington did the old fake catch at the 10. Did just enough for the Jets returners and gunners to not be able to get to that ball. 2:33 to go in the first. We'll head to commercial break. And the Bills offense, they have a chance to march right down the field and potentially take a lot of the clock with them. 25 people in here at this commercial break. I will ask you guys to hit the like button. It does help us out a ton. And subscribe if you guys are new. Donations are also open as well. We want to hit that donation goal. Victor says, this was the Jets' problem all of last year, playing undisciplined. Has to be so frustrating for their fans to see. And yeah, as Bills fans, we know what an undisciplined team looks like. And Sean McDermott's actually been at the helm for some of the most undisciplined teams that the Bills have had. And it's not necessarily undisciplined, outside of the football field. I think Sean McDermott's a great leader and keeps these guys in check. And you don't see some of the crazy stuff off the field that you do with other teams. But that being said, we have seen some very, very lackluster, low IQ penalties from the Bills in the Sean McDermott era. So far, so good this game. But many penalties for the Jets that just cannot happen. I think the biggest one so far this game was that roughing the passer call. You can't lead with your helmet when the ball has been already thrown. And whether you agree with it or you disagree with it, it's been a rule for many years now. You have to know that as a defensive lineman. One of the toughest things to do is, to tackle in a certain way when it takes so much talent to get to the quarterback, and then you got to do it a certain way or else it's a penalty. One of the hardest things in the game. But as a professional, you have to know that, it's if you lead with your head to head, it's going to be a penalty, especially against the top quarterback in the game. And I think that's just the biggest argument to that, right? Is, oh, if that was somebody like Will Levis, does that penalty get called? Maybe not. And that's where the consistency has to start becoming a thing. But it is interesting to get the other side of things. And the Bills were always, Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady would always get the calls against us. Now, all of a sudden, we have a quarterback that gets the calls when anything close happens. Anyway, Bills back on the field at the 20. Allen under center. Jimbo behind him. We'll see if they keep using the run game. Nope. Play fake. Again, bad blocking from the Bills' offensive line, but Allen able to get it out to Dawson Knox for a gain of 3. Or actually Kincaid there for 3. So yeah, if I have any complaint about the Bills at all this game, I'd say it's the offensive line. An offensive line that did a great job last week, has kind of rushed Allen a little bit this week. Hasn't given him the same time that he had last week in the pocket. And that could all just be scheme wise. Maybe the Jets are sending a ton of pressure where the Ravens weren't, and that was the case. But second down play, it's going to be a design QB run, and Allen is tackled in the backfield. It's going to be maybe a loss of one. I think he got back to the line of scrimmage. And Allen is bleeding. So I think Allen got cut on the face. Yep, his nose is bleeding. So he's going off to the sidelines. So now fourth quarter Mitch is in the game for a third down. So Allen got hit in the nose, and he's got a bloody nose or a cut or something. So don't worry, not a crazy injury, I don't think so. But Money Mitch, he's going to throw the ball. Mitch Trubisky's going deep. Caught by Palmer at the 50, at the 45. But there is a flag. I think it's going to be defensive holding, though. Yeah, battle scar for Allen. I mean, design QB run up 10-0. What are we doing? Holding defense. That's going to be declined. Money Mitch. How about it? Fourth quarter Mitch Trubisky showing up in the first quarter and dropping dimes. What a ball. I mean, come on. On a rope to Josh Palmer. You know what? Leave him in. I don't care if Allen's ready to go this drive. Leave in Mitch. Let's see it. Why not? Clemens was the guy who punched Allen in the face. Oh, and there's blood leaking out of his nose. Still on the sidelines. You got to leave him out the whole drive. It's not worth putting him back in right now. Heavy run formation for the Bills. And it is a toss out wide. That one to Ty Johnson. He spins forward for around 3. And that'll let the clock drain down to the end of the first. Yep, and the Bills offense is obviously going to let this clock run to the end of the first. And I'll use my rant a little bit here. Allen, they're looking at his nose right now. So something's wrong with his nose. Hopefully it's not a broken nose. Hopefully it's just a bloody nose and blood got in his mouth. It looks like he's spitting stuff out. Here's my rant. Design quarterback runs with the best quarterback in the league in the first quarter of a game. You're up 10-0 in a non-playoff game. Just simply inept from Joe Brady in this offense. There's zero reason to be doing that. Again, I am all for Josh Allen taking off when he's in the pocket when nobody's open. That is a huge asset for Allen. But these design QB runs have got to go. And it appears they're going to be lucky and it's not a severe injury. But say he did that and somebody landed on his knee and he's got a torn ACL. Again, as a quarterback in the National Football League, you are more protected than ever before in the pocket. We were just talking about it with the roughing the passer calls. Defenders can't really rough you up when you have the ball in your hands in the pocket. But the second you go for a designed run, you turn into a runner, and those rules dramatically change. This offense, you simply cannot put Josh Allen in danger. And I don't know what they're doing on that play. Yeah, design QB runs are strictly for college and high school. Yeah. Haynes King. Yeah, Georgia Tech. You guys watch that Georgia Tech game and have been keeping up with Georgia Tech. That's something they do almost every play. They just hand it to him, and when he's healthy, he carries that ball a whole lot. He's basically a running back, and there's a reason why he is on the injury report every single week because he gets designed quarterback runs almost every play. Shout out Georgia Tech though, 3-0. But it's just as bonehead as it gets from the Bills offense calling that play. Right up the middle too. You're begging defenders to take cheap shots at your quarterback. So Allen is back on the field. He's got the nose plugged up. His nose looks straight. Nothing looks broken. I think just a bloody nose. If you guys have played baseball and you get drilled in the face with a baseball, you guys know the feeling. Blood starts gushing out of your nose. Some vessels in there. If you guys have a good time with the Buffalo snow as well, you guys probably know about nosebleeds as well. But anyway, 2nd and 6, Allen is back out there. It's going to be a play fake. Allen's going to throw it out to his tight end and drop by Dawson Knox. Would have been an easy first down there. He tried to one-hand it. It was a little overthrown. Still a ball you got to catch. So now a 3rd and 6 for this Bills offense. I'll tell you what, Mitch Trubisky would have put that ball right on the money. And again, after bleeding out of your nose, it's a pretty uncomfortable feeling for the rest of the day, or at least a couple, an hour or two afterwards. So I know the feeling Josh Allen has right now. You got to kind of put that aside though and play NFL level football. Anyway, Allen, he's going deep over the middle and dropped again. There is a flag in the secondary. Kincaid was the man to drop the pass. Coverage was draped all over him. And I think it's another penalty on the Jets that'll give the Bills a free first down. Prior to the pass, holding on the defense. Only a 5-yarder, but automatic first. So the Jets just continue to hurt themselves. Let's take a look if this was a legit penalty or not. Oh, yeah. Hand just grabbed all over the collar of Kincaid's jersey. That one on Adams. And Allen with blood on his jersey points for the first down. 1st and 10, bunched up formation. You'd think it's a run. It is. Cook up the middle. Gain of 2. The Jets defenders carry him for maybe an extra yard. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Bills. Aaron Glenn. Last season, this Jets team, not under Aaron Glenn, under a completely different coaching staff. Most penalties in the league and most penalty yards. So this is a trend for the Jets. Aaron Glenn has built a culture here, but the penalties so far today have not shown it. 2nd and 8. They did not end up giving Cook that extra yard. Throwing as Allen in the pocket, looking deep. That ball is deflected up and almost picked off. It was deflected at the line, and Sauce Gardner and Keon Coleman ended up having to just jump up for the dead duck that was floating. Let's take a look who he was throwing it to initially, if it was Coleman or not. Oh. Dang. If he was able to get that ball out and it wasn't tipped at the line of scrimmage, Palmer was going to be open in the end zone. It would have been tough, but if he made a good throw, it would have been a touchdown. So a crucial deflected ball. And now we're at 3rd and 8. Kind of in field goal range, kind of not. So we'll see if they try to gain a couple here. Allen, he's going to sling it incomplete down the field. Little miscommunication. Allen looking for another penalty, didn't get it. So Palmer was the intended receiver. Yep, John Allen is back in the game. No worries, just looked like a shot in the face. Oh, and Palmer got shoved. That should have been pass interference. It wasn't. I get you can't call a flag every play, but that one was another one the Jets got away with. So Matt Prater, this is a deep one, 52 yards. Can he stay perfect as a Bill? Snap, hold, kick. It is up, and it is good. Matt Prater makes it 13-0. Wow. 5 for 5 so far for Matt Prater as a Bill. 13-0, and that field goal not only puts points on the board for the Bills, but also shifts the momentum, because say the Bills miss that field goal, all of a sudden the Jets have the best starting field position they've had all day. Short field, they might be able to get a quick touchdown, at least a field goal. That field goal lets the Bills kick it off, and at worst you're probably at the 36, 37 instead of being near midfield. Haven't been this confident in a Bills kicker in years. Right there with you. And I'm somebody who is not the biggest Tyler Bass fan, so if you guys are big Tyler Bass fans, you may disagree with that statement, but I'm right with you. I think This is the least worried I'm watching a kicker lineup. And Matt Prater might not have the same leg he once did, but he just drilled a 52-yarder. And this is a guy who has nerves of steel, right? He doesn't get nervous. He's been in the league for so long. Yeah, the Jets are a dirty team, and that's a team that you cannot have these designed runs for because, again, it gives them a free shot to just take out Josh Allen. And why would you not if you're a defender, right? You're going to try to hit the star quarterback as hard as you can to get them out of the game, and that's what they're going to try to do. Now, this one, again, a hand to the face, incidental. Was he going for that? Probably not. It's in the middle of the scrum, but why put your quarterback in that situation? In all fairness, Prater played last year, so he shouldn't really be rusty this year. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone expected Prater to be terrible. I just don't think I think there was just a lot of uncertainty with the Bills kicking game. You bring in a guy like Caden Davis, and he gets cut, and then Tyler Bass looks good, and then misses a 20-something yarder in preseason, and all of a sudden the injury flares up again. He's on the IR, and all of a sudden there's just all these unknowns. And then you bring in a veteran like Matt Prater, who so far has been perfect, and it kind of just calms everyone nerves, and especially after that week one walk off. Again, a chip shot walk off. Any college kicker should be able to make that. But he made the kick under the pressure, and that was his first true test, I would say, distance wise, and it looked good. It was probably good from 57. It wasn't one of those 50-yarders where you're sitting there like, oh, that could have been good from 70. So I don't think we'll be seeing him kick anything over like 57. But placement was there, and the distance was there. So Prater, the leg again, caught at around the 5. Jets are going to try to return it. Those special teams this time not as good. Going to be tackled at the 33. DeMar Hamlin ends up bringing him down. Chris says, does anyone have a Spanish telecast? I don't know. I know they have like Telemundo for NBC. I don't know. I know a little bit of Spanish. But I think we got more English viewers in here, so I unfortunately am not going to try to commentate in Spanish. First play of the drive, Breece Hall down, Tre'Davious White. Welcome back to the Bills. Loss of 4. Good stuff from Trey Day there. Good to see him healthy. We saw that injury late in training camp, and I know we all had that thought that, well, maybe that's a season-ending injury. It wasn't. He's back week 2. So far, so good. John's mad about Curtis Samuel. I think he's still recovering from an injury. I think we'll see him eventually. He's certainly higher than the last guy off the depth chart. I think we will see him if need be. Second and 15. Fields doesn't have anyone open. He's getting bull rush. Sanders gets a hands on him, and he's brought down by a plethora of Bills players. Greg Rousseau, TJ Sanders, part of the tackle. And Zion off the practice squad gets a hand on him as well. I think he was the main contributor in that sack. Oh, I see what you're saying, Chris. You're saying CBS is playing in Spanish. My CBS is playing English, so I don't know. I know that has happened in the past, though. 3rd and 25, it's going to be a draw play up the middle. Cam Lewis on the tackle. Maybe a gain of 7. It doesn't matter. Jets are going to have to punt, and the Boo Birds are out at MetLife. Baltimore up 10-0 on Cleveland. Yeah, the Bills' defense. Again, you kind of want some revenge after injuring Allen like that, but at the same time, it's incidental. The only one you should be mad about that with is Joe Brady and the offensive play calling, because why are you putting him in that situation? The punt, caught it around the 20. Codrington carries to the sidelines out around the 26. Yeah, Tyler Bass, Phantom IR designation. Probably. They continue to say, though, Tyler Bass is their guy, and that, when he gets healthy, he will be given a chance to take that starting role back. But if Matt Prater continues to be perfect, I don't think you can do it. But keep in mind, if week 5 rolls around and Matt Prater starts missing kicks, they will not blink an eye at bringing Tyler Bass back. Yeah, the Spanish broadcast, I know they had that on NBC a couple times. I've seen that. I know when some networks were not having, I think it was NBC too, that NBC wasn't on like Spectrum or DirecTV, but they did have Telemundo. They would simulcast that, so you could watch the game in Spanish, but not in English. I don't know. That was interesting. I know that they've done that with like live events like boxing, wrestling. UFC has done that in the past. I've watched where they have a Spanish broadcast and everyone's complaining for the first like 5 minutes till they switch it. So might be something. And we were at 17 likes. Let's get that number up to 20 real quick. If you haven't liked, just leave a quick like. Let's get that number to 20 by halftime. Returning from commercial break, the Bills will have the ball at around the 26-yard line. 18 likes, 2 more. Let's get that real quick. But for a defense that has no Taron Johnson and no Ed Oliver, you could not have asked for more so far in this game. They have locked down pretty much everything down the field. Justin Fields has been double clutching in the pocket. That just means everything's covered, and the D-line has been getting to him in time. So a combination of good pressure and good coverage, able to shut out the Jets so far. Josh Allen back at quarterback, so no one has to worry about anything. We're good. We're good. Allen takes the snap. It's going to be a pitch to Ty Johnson, and he finds a hole for about 3. 2nd and 7 approaching. Yeah, I have been impressed with the Jets pass rush. They've been getting to Allen quick. Kind of an opposite game from the Jets last week. The Jets offense was the catalyst and the defense continuously was letting them down. This week the defense has had a couple impact plays. Penalties have been killing them. If not for the penalties, though, this is a complete flip-flop of last week. Allen takes a snap on 2nd and 7. Again, not much time to throw. He gets it to Coleman, and he dives forward for the first down. It's right on the line. It looks like they're going to move the chains, though. Marty, how's it going? Says, I'm watching you from Portugal. Good coverage. And then Obrigado. Hopefully I said that right. He says that means thank you in Portuguese. Bills fans are worldwide. It's always interesting to see these Bills backers that show up in different cities, different countries. Been that way for a while, but certainly Josh Allen has helped the cause. And as the Bills get a little more popular, some of these backers and major countries and cities across the world start to get more fans in there as well. So 1st and 10, Allen fakes the handoff to Cook. He's looking deep. He's going to do a mid-tier throw. Wide open is Palmer. He runs backwards for about 3 yards after the catch. But he did get across the first down marker. So first down play there, maybe 12 yards. If he would have just went down, it probably would have been a 16-yard gain, but you can't blame him. Pittsburgh getting back in the game 7-6 now against Seattle. Detroit up 14-7 against Chicago. The Rams 10-3 against Tennessee. New England up 12-7. Now Miami slowly coming back in that game. 1st and 10 around midfield. Bills hand off to Cook. Nice slippery run, and he gets maybe 6 yards. Something with James Cook is he doesn't really look like he's going to get all that many yards, but every single time he's able to shift once or twice and make it up the middle. So they've been icing Josh Allen's nose in between drives. So they said the nose still could be broken. They might X-ray him at halftime. Cook, that's going to be a first down and more. Nice slippery run. He's still on his feet. There he goes. The 30, the 20, the 10. Nobody's going to catch him. James Cook, another touchdown. Pay him another $10 million. What a run that was. Couple broken tackles, found the edge, and outran everyone. And now you're at 19-0. It'll be interesting to see if they go for two to try to make it 21. That is just a beauty. That's something, maybe only the top 5 running backs in the league are able to do. Looks like the Bills are just going to take the extra point here and try to make it 20 to zip. Prater has yet to miss a kick. Extra point, snap, hold, kick, right down the middle, 20-0. Buffalo Bills aren't America's team, they're the world's team. You said it. I know a majority of Canada, on at least the eastern side of Canada, is Bills territory. The western side, there's some areas around Detroit that might be Lions fans. Some areas around the border near Seattle that might be Seahawks fans. It's always interesting with Toronto. The Bills have links to Toronto now with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady being part of the ownership group. You have, I think they did a deal with the Argos in the CFL. A lot of people are mad about that because if you like the CFL in Buffalo, a majority of people are Hamilton Tiger Cats fans. Not a whole lot of CFL interest in Buffalo, but the ones that are, I guess that's the closest team. And then, of course, the hockey rivalry between Toronto and Buffalo. It doesn't make sense, but it does at the same time. A lot of Buffalo fans are Toronto Blue Jays fans and Raptors fans. So there's ties. It says, I sent some Bills hats to some friends I made in Ukraine. So they will be a Bills chapter there soon. That's sick. Spreading the Bills around the world. You love to see it. And again, the Sabres are too. Again, the Sabres have a lot of odd fandom around the world, and I think it stems from the Sabres playing games overseas. And that they recently went to Prague in Germany. Then they were in Sweden a few years ago, and I think they were somewhere in Europe back in the early 2000s as well. So the Sabres are a team that have played overseas quite a bit. And I think people kind of underappreciate the value of these international games. Like taking a home game away, it sucks. But if you're a young kid and let's talk about the NFL because it's a football game. If the Jaguars and Titans, two bad teams or whatever, go over to England and this is your first NFL game, you don't know anything about the teams. You like the Jaguars logo, you think it's cool, you like their colors. All of a sudden, you're a fan for life. It's that simple. Same thing with soccer in the United States. You bring over these Premier League teams that somebody's watching a Brighton versus Everton game and say, "Hey, I like Everton's blue jerseys." All of a sudden, they've acquired an American fan. Sports can bring the world together. Prater kickoff gonna be caught at the 4. That one's gonna be a return. This one might be a bigger return. Down at the 37. Last gasp tackle by Jamarcus Ingram and Matt Prater there. That could have been bad. Conrad, how's it going? He says, thank you from Peru. Look at that. Worldwide. We got Peru. We got Portugal. Got Ukraine covered. Crazy that what the internet can do too. Just can make anything worldwide, news worldwide. You know, we're all connected. 1st and 10 for the Jets. Going to be a quarterback keeper, and that one's going to go. Oh, boy. Fields was hit hard by Cole Bishop after he slid. No flag. It wasn't head-to-head contact. It was a late slide. The crowd's not too happy about it. Glenn is not too happy about it. Let's take a look at the replay. It was an interesting move by Fields because you didn't think he was going to slide there. He had room. Slid. Shoulder tackle. That's tough. The rules say that should be a penalty, but there's nothing vicious about it. Victor says 15-7, Patriots. Field goal by New England. Okay. 2nd and 3 now. Jets, going to be a handoff to Hall. He's got the space for the first down and gets it. 5-yard gain. Right around midfield now for the Jets. What do you guys think about the new kickoff rules? It seems that starting field position is anywhere from the 25 to the 40 now, and it's certainly going to have more opportunities for points. Malik Neighbors just had a nice touchdown in Dallas, and the Giants are up by 10 over there. So after a somewhat hopeful start to the season for Dallas, hanging in there with the Eagles, they're not looking good at all against the Giants. Fields, he's going to keep it himself again, and that's going to be a gain of 10 as he goes out of bounds. So the Jets starting to use their quarterback's legs, and that is the third element of this offense that has, we haven't seen that so far this game, but we're starting to see it, and it's starting to really pay off. We're up to 21 likes now, so we hit the 20 like goal by the first half. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. 1st and 10. See if the Bills switch up their defense, try to get one of these run plays. To be handed off to Hall, and that one's stuffed at the line. 2nd and 10 now. As the Bills will do a wholesale change on that defensive line, probably expecting a throw, getting some pass rushers in. Good job by Walker, clogging up the middle. Taylor Rapp got in on that run too. A good heads-up play from him. He was rated, I think, the worst safety by PFF. And PFF, take it with a grain of salt, but worst safety in the league week 1 was him. 2nd and 10. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. That one goes for 4. Brought down by Bernard. So big 3rd and 6 here. You got to think it's 4-down territory. Maybe try to get 3 to 4 and then do your 4th down play. When do Jets fans start picking on Deion Dawkins and call him a bully? I'm sure some Jets group chats are already going. And I see people online saying, Jets fans are the most delusional. They go into every season thinking they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't mind it. I mean, I love, supporting your team and having confidence. 3rd and 6. It's going to be a quarterback keeper with Fields. He goes out to the outside, and Tre'Davious White is able to push him out of bounds about 3 yards short of the first down. Good coverage from the Bills. Fields went out wide, and there was 3 Bills defenders that formed a wall to not let him get around the outside edge. That is textbook defense. 4th down. I'm hearing some boos. Maybe they're bringing out the field goal kicker. Maybe not. They are going to try the field goal. Nick Folk, another old kicker in this game. Last season with Tennessee, 21 for 22, 56-yard long. But this is a 51-yarder. Not a whole lot of wind today in MetLife. A pretty good day. Sunny, not too hot, but pretty warm. Let's see if the Jets can get their first points of the day. A tricky field goal. Kick is up, online, doesn't have the distance. It does, and the Jets get on the board, 20-3. And I don't know if it's just me, but if you look around college football, if you look around NFL football, field goals seem to be going in a little bit more than in years prior. I know people are going to bring up that Georgia Tech field goal, or not Georgia, yeah, Georgia Tech field goal that was made. You're going to look at that Tennessee field goal that was missed, and maybe try to use some recency bias there. But I know the kickers being able to use their special team footballs rather than fresh footballs has helped as well. But kickers seem to be on point this year. Rodrigo Blankenship posted on social media him making the top 3 longest field goals of the week, and he's going to continue to do that until he gets signed by a team, he said. And again, there was like a 59-yarder, a 58-yarder. I think he's going to be getting a lot of use of that leg because these kickers seem to be making everything this year. An eye in the Mets game here. Looks like it's still 0-0. I saw they were kind of cooking in the bottom of the first, but must not have allotted to anything. So look around the league. Baltimore up 10-0 on the Browns. Cincinnati down 14-7. Keep an eye on Cincinnati. They didn't look good in week 1, and they're starting off rough against the Jaguars. Dallas down 13-3 against the Giants, but they are in the red zone, first and goal. Detroit up 14-7 against the Bears. Dolphins have the ball, and they're driving against the Patriots, down 15-7. San Francisco and New Orleans. San Fran up 9-0. Seattle, Pittsburgh 7-6, but Pittsburgh is on the goal line. They'll at least get a field goal, probably a touchdown. And how about Tennessee hanging in there, down 10-7, but they have the ball at the Rams 40 right now. They're showing an old school highlight from Jim Nantz on CBS. 40th year anniversary at CBS for Jim Nantz. What a legend. And Jim Nantz is one of my favorites. As somebody who does these live streams and stuff, obviously I gotta watch these announcers closely, and I will have an NFL announcer video impersonations coming out soon. I plan to work on that. Big return from Codrington. He gets popped at the 40 and goes down at the 42. And there is a flag, though, so it'll probably be brought back. But yeah, I'm excited to do that. College announcers, NFL announcers, Collinsworth will be a big part of it. We're going to do that in video. I've been cooking up ideas for that for a while, so that'll be a video, and I'm sure we'll have an MLB one coming up with that as well, because there's a lot of characters in MLB announcing. Holding on the return team. So the Bills will not have good starting field position. That one on Solomon. Let's see what the Bills can do. Jim Nantz is still talking about his time at CBS. He's got some more years left under contract. He said he's doing the Masters a few more years, and then he's gonna call it quits. It looks like the ball's going to be around the 25-yard line, so not terrible field position, but a 15-yard penalty if you really want to look at it that way, as the return was well over the 40. So yeah, right on the 25, first and 10. Bills have 4:15 left to work with in the second half, or second quarter, first half. Shavers in motion. Going to be a fake. He's got a tight end open as Dawson Knox, and he's going to take it for around 12 yards and a first down for Dawson Knox. Good play call there, a nice fake. I think he had the deep ball open as well there, but either way, probably a 15-yard gain. Might as well take the easy completion and let Dawson Knox have those yards after catch. I check my fantasy teams right now. Is a little bit of a break. All right, 1st and 10. Allen in the eye. Reggie Gilliam out there. It's going to be a handoff to Ray Davis. He finds a little bit of space, maybe a 4-yard gain. Two of my leagues, I'm facing Josh Allen. So if he wants to keep handing off touchdowns all day, we will certainly take that. Bills' first 4 possessions: touchdown, field goal, touchdown. Little touchdown sandwich. 20-3. 2nd and 6 from the 41 of their own. Bills run out of time on the play clock. Snap it with 1 second left. Hand it off to Ray Davis. He had to wait out the block. It's going to be a gain of 3, but there is a flag. This is where the Bills struggle. They try to implement the clock in their decision making, and then they go to these obvious run plays, and it's always a hold. It's probably be a hold on the offense, which it is. On Joshua Palmer. And the Bills just divert from what they're good at when they start thinking about the clock. Sean McDermott is so wrapped around clock management. He's not good at it, and that's in his head too. And he tries to be good at it, and then the more he focuses on it, he's worse at it. And now you're 2nd and 16 when you were at 2nd and 6 a couple moments ago because you're trying to drain the clock instead of going for points. You got all 3 timeouts. I don't know. 2nd and 16, maybe a screen coming up. Allen, almost sacked, but he finds a way out of it. He's going to scramble, fakes the throw, and now he goes for about 4 yards. He's tackled down to the ground. So a good enough gain to make it a 3rd and 10, and that'll tick down to the 2-minute warning. Tony Romo said he could have thrown that ball up for a 50-50 chance, but probably not worth it at this point in the game. Keep in mind the Jets got the ball first in this game, so the Bills, they don't have to be worried about a double score from the Jets if they were to punt it here. Victor says the Patriots are only up by 1 point now after a Miami touchdown. At the 2-minute warning, I'll swoop around the league again. Bengals back in the game, 14-10, but Jacksonville already in Cincinnati territory, deep in Cincinnati territory. Dallas right back in the game, 13-10 now. Detroit up 21-7 over the Bears. New Orleans is in the red zone, but they have a 3rd and long. Seattle now down 14-7 to the Steelers. And Tennessee still trickling down the field. A touchdown would tie the game up, but they have a 3rd down now in Rams territory. The games tonight or this afternoon we'll start with. There's 2. Let's say this. There's 1 game I don't care about. There's 1 game that's going to be really good, and there's 1 game we're all going to watch. The game we don't care about is Carolina and Arizona. Is anyone watching that game besides Panthers or Cardinals fans? Probably not. The second game is the Denver Broncos in Indianapolis to take on the Colts. A Broncos team that disappointed last week against a Colts team that exceeded expectations. Should be a great one in Indy. Then we go to the Super Bowl rematch, the game everyone's going to be watching, nationally broadcasted on Fox this afternoon at 4:25. The Philadelphia Eagles in Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. Look, the Eagles started off with a win, but they didn't look all that good in that win. And the Chiefs, they look like the voodoo magic may be done. I don't know, though. They could get it right back today. Sunday Night Football tonight, we have the Falcons in Minnesota to take on the Vikings. A solid game. I think, rookie versus rookie at quarterback. You have the I think that's the I mean rookie versus rookie. I say that because of the injuries and Michael Penix not playing last year, but I think it's a national championship rematch between those two quarterbacks. It's probably that they've probably been making a narrative of that for a week, and I just haven't seen it. But I think that is because JJ was with Michigan when they beat Washington. So I think so. The Bills 3rd and 10. 3rd and 9. Allen. He's got all day to throw. Throws it out wide to Kincaid. He's got the first down and more. And he gets out of bounds. The Bills tight ends continue to get open for Josh Allen. Heck of a start to the season for Dalton. First down. Elijah says Bills are going to be 2-0, Dolphins 1-1, Jets and Patriots 0-2. So Elijah is predicting the Patriots to lose to the Dolphins. Could go either way. Elijah, welcome back to the chat, though. Elijah, let me know how is Dunkirk football doing this year too? I know you're always talking about them. I haven't been keeping up with Dunkirk that much. 1st and 10. Allen looking to go deep. He scrambles, and it's going to be a sack. He loses about 2 yards. Good job by, is that Harrison Phillips that got him down? I think so. Harrison Phillips ripped the shoulder pad and was able to corral Josh Allen. Oh, it was all right. It was Briggs, and Harrison Phillips brought him down. But I will say, if anyone sacks Josh Allen, I will take Harrison Phillips doing that. Harrison Phillips, a great guy, did a whole lot for charity here in Buffalo when he was here and was a fan favorite. So shout out Harrison Phillips. Good to see him getting in on that sack. Dunkirk 1-1 and Fredonia 1-1. Okay, both teams even. Yeah, Coleman makes a nice catch for around 6, so 3rd and manageable with 1:03 to go, and somebody called a timeout. Let's see, both teams have all three. The Bills ended up calling a timeout. Okay, so we'll be back in 30 seconds on the broadcast. Oh, high school football around me, the school I went to is 1-1 right now. Rival team is 0-2. It's kind of all I do with high school football. Just look at the school I went to and kind of check afterwards if they won or lost. Dirty Harry, definitely a decent dude. Yeah, Harrison Phillips, great guy. When I saw he was going to the Jets, he had so much success with the Vikings, and that was a team we could kind of root for here in Buffalo, an NFC team that was likable, and then goes over to the Jets, and you're like, oh shoot, now we got to kind of root against this guy. Tennessee just tied the Rams 10-10 before the half. So 3rd and 4, maybe 4 down territory for the Bills. See what they do here. If they run the ball, and it looks like they're going to throw though, probably going for a check down. Nope, Allen's going deep, and Coleman makes the catch. Let's see, what's that offensive PI? There's a flag, and offensive PI. Yeah, it looked like a push off, so the right call. So that'll back them up. A mental error by the Bills. So now it's going to be 3rd and long. Inside fade Carter. It looked worse than it was. Good sell job by Carter. But the throw was good enough where he didn't have to push him. That's tough. Good sell job by Carter, and a little bit, again, they say offensive PI is, called when you extend that arm. He did just a little too much. 3rd and 14 now. Field goal target's only 2 yards away, but I don't know if I'd send Prater out there for that one when you could pin him deep. Allen going deep over the middle, and it's good defense, batted away. 4th and 14. Now the Bills are going to have to punt it away. Kincaid was draped, and the ball would have had to have been perfect. It was just off. So here comes Sean McDermott 2.0, Cameron Johnston, the new punter for the Bills. Let's see if he can pin the Jets back. Sean McDermott 2.0. It's a high one, and it's going to be fair caught at the 12, so not the greatest punt. Brad Robbins would have pinned that within the 5. But 48 seconds, the Jets will have to march down the field and get some points with all 3 timeouts. Penalties have been the name of the game so far. Both teams have been hurting themselves more than the other team. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions for the background. I'd love to maybe like hang a poster up in this white space that we have up here on the wall. This is a couch behind me too, so I could set props up, but you can't really see that. But you can see the background. Um, and the only issue is it's difficult to set this up because obviously by the time we take my full camera and edit it to fit the window, a lot of it does get taken out as well. This thing next to me is this lantern type thing, a Michael Hauser poster. If you guys could spam Michael Hauser and have him send me a signed jersey, I will frame that and put that behind me for Sabres games. But I don't know. Like I have some stuff I could put there. I don't want anything to be permanent there. I'd like to sub stuff out for Bills streams and Sabres streams and Bills videos and Sabres videos. So maybe I'll just get like a Sabres thing, kind of like this thing, and call it a day. Billy Buffalo up 17 points. So this is, I don't want to say it's a game for the Jets, but it reminds me a lot of last week right before halftime where the Bills were able to squeak 3 points on the Ravens right before the half, and it just gave them that breath of life. Kind of that, we're still in it. Where, if the Jets can go down and get a touchdown or a field goal, you can prove you can do it, and you're right back in the game. We'll see what kind of defense the Bills play. Do they start, shifting that defense to that soft coverage that we see a lot with the Bills when other teams have limited time? The Bills tend to leave the middle open, make them waste the timeouts. Personally, I wouldn't. I think you gotta just keep playing the same defense you were. That Starscream was Megatron's second in command. All right, Fields on 1st and 10. It's going to be a dump off, about a gain of 6. Brees Hall on the reception. True says a Buffalo Bandits banner behind me. That'd be neutral, I guess. The Jets end up calling a timeout after that play with 43 seconds. Maybe I'll just get like a Terry Pagula huge banner behind me. My favorite person, just a Terry Pagula like poster or something. I don't know. For Sabres games, maybe I'll put a Kevin Adams poster up. I don't know. Don, how's it going? Yeah, Pepsi. We haven't talked about Pepsi yet. I know Pepsi signed a deal with the Bills' new stadium, I believe. John says, I don't trust the Bills to close this out. Took a shower last drive, no points. Yeah, crucial penalties. Bills good pass rush there, but Fields gets around it and he's going to take off for the first down and a whole lot more. Fields all the way to the 50 and he goes down at midfield. The Jets will have to call timeout again, but 31 seconds to go and the Jets are already at midfield. Wow. Reminds me of that play last week where Lamar ran backwards and was able to get 20 yards. Again, the Bills pass rush gets there, but Bosa isn't able to set the edge, and nobody downfield saw Fields running until it was too late. Good job by Rapp to be in somewhat position to prevent a touchdown there, but not good defense. Picture of Pagula's yacht behind me. There you go. It'd be a niche reference. Not everyone would know. So the Jets only one timeout left. The 31 seconds. If you're the Bills at this point, you got to prevent the touchdown. Keep them in bounds. If they get a field goal, fine. Fields out wide, and it's dropped. Would have been a 7-yard completion. And if it was a better throw, he could have got out of bounds too. But drop, that'll stop the clock. Not the worst thing for the Jets. 26 seconds. Again, if you catch that and you're still in bounds, not the worst thing for the Jets. Yeah, it seems like these teams, whenever they have these last minute drives, it's just so easy to go get a field goal, right? Because the defenses just play such soft coverage, leave the middle wide open. Just conceding a field goal. Fields, the Bills send a little bit of a pass rush, and another drop. Fields had to overthrow it a little bit, but Mason Taylor still should have came down with that, the Jets tight end. John said, this is why I can't watch the Bills on TV. Yeah, I've noticed when I'm streaming, I am a little less radical with my thoughts than when I'm watching the TV with people or by myself. I tend to be able to keep it a little calmer. So I'm right there with you. I'm a different fan when I'm not in front of a microphone for sure. 3rd and 10 now for the Jets. Jaguars up 7 on the Bengals. That's something to monitor. Bills playing a little bit of QB spy, and it's going to be incomplete. 4th and 10. We'll see what the Jets do. You probably got to punt it away. So a good hold by the Bills defense, and the Jets are going to punt when the Bills get this ball back. You do have 2 timeouts, and you're probably going to have around 10 seconds. So we'll see where they get this ball, but if they're pinned deep, they'll probably just need it. Victor says, go Jags. I'm right there with you. Cincinnati scares me. Bad matchup. Such a bad matchup with the Bengals. Even if they are kind of a bad team this year. And the punt is going to be down by the Jets at around the 9. So the Bills offense will trot on the field, take a knee, and they'll run into halftime. Dolphins are a second half team. Yeah, I could certainly see the Dolphins taking that game. New England and Miami, that's as crucial as it gets. You need that division win if you're 0-1. Bills in the kneeing formation. Snap, need. That'll do it for the first half. In the wise words of Steve Gelbs, that will do it. John said, first time, great show. Thank you, thank you. And welcome if you guys are new. Again, hit that like button and subscribe. We're doing all Bills games, all Sabres games this year. I have a interview with Glenn, with Tracy. We'll see what they say here. He said they got to be more efficient, killing themselves. That's it. He said they'll be more themselves. A quick check of the scores around the league. The Browns 10-3. The rest has kind of stayed the same. So yeah, I don't think you could be mad as a Bills fan by that first half. Keep in mind the Jets looked fabulous against the Steelers last week. They didn't get the win, but they certainly could have got the win. And they're promoting 60 Minutes starting September 28th. There's nothing more iconic than hearing that tick of the 60-minute ad during football season. I don't think I've ever watched 60 Minutes, and I don't think a majority of America has ever watched it, but everybody knows it from football. Steelers up 7 at halftime. Yep. We all know Burrow is a stud of a QB, but these slow starts they have every season as a head scratcher. Yeah, I don't know if that's pinned on coaching or if that should be an offense thing, a defense thing. Yeah, the Bengals have not been giving up a whole lot of points, so you can't really blame it on their defense, which is usually the scapegoat. It's been the offense. Showing a commercial about Highmark Stadium, the new one they're putting together. Smooth Gaming says Joe Burrow was injured. Do we know the severity of that injury? That's something to monitor immensely. Look at the stats of that game real quick. Yeah, so Jake Browning, 4 for 7. So it looks like Burrow's been injured for a little bit. Hopefully nothing too serious. Apparent left leg slash ankle injury. Elijah doesn't like the Patriots. Limped off the field, got rolled up on a sack. This is the one I love these 1 o'clock games. I do get it out of the way, but when I'm streaming these, it's tough to follow the rest of the league. So I don't know. I don't know what I like more. If I like the primetime slate, where it's just me and you guys and nothing else going on, or if I like all the action. It gives me something to talk about for sure, but I do miss a lot of it. Yeah, and this is probably the most exciting time of the year for me. Football season in full swing, college and NFL. MLB playoffs coming up, and then the NHL and the NBA are looming. Preseason starts next week. Showing the highlights here. Patriots game already in the second half. So a little bit of a slow game here with the Bills. Thoughts on Notre Dame? Again, if I gave my true thoughts on Notre Dame and their situation, I think the channel might get taken down. So I'll leave it at this. They're pretty poorly coached. The defense is utter garbage, and they're a disgrace to Notre Dame's heritage. That team is just a joke. But CJ Carr and the rest of that offense continue to put up big numbers. I think they're going to end the season off good. Just get a simple bowl game win. It's fine. CJ Carr is still young. I think Notre Dame will be fine in the future, but feels like a wasted season. Tough schedule, of course, too, but feels like a wasted season. Hopefully, they just go undefeated the rest of the way. Come up with a nice bowl win. Maybe they slip in as the last team if A&M and Miami and some other teams ahead of them like Clemson keep losing, but it is what it is. It looks like all my teams this year are going to be somewhat garbage. UB, Syracuse, Notre Dame. Yeah, Donald said it best in the chat. Elijah said he tried watermelon Modelo. Sounds interesting. How was that, Elijah? 60 Minutes has been a top 10 news program for 57 years. Was number one news program in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, it's I guess I guess they show clips of it in like classes and stuff. Um, but I know it. The running joke for football fans is like, does anyone actually watch that? Like we get it promoted about every 2 seconds, but a majority of football fans just kind of know the little tick sound. But yeah, as most people get most of my news off social media nowadays, and maybe watch a little bit of the local news once in a while if something big happens. But and I'm always watching sports with the Mets going. And again, if you want to, if you're a sports fan, you could find something every night to watch. Dos Equis is sponsoring 2 point conversions. Go for Dos. Bulls are 2-1. Yeah, they are. The team just does not look good this year, though. I don't know. Hopefully they improve, but they struggled against a Kent State team that's been bottom five in FBS football for the last 5 years. Titans are up 13-10 against the Rams. That is an upset looming. Do you imagine? We're up to 3,123 subs. The big jump today. Let's keep that momentum going. Appreciate you guys for the support. Again, I enjoy doing this. Enjoy everyone watching. And short week, so keep an eye out. The podcast is going to come out tonight. We're switching things up. It's going to be out tonight because the Bills Dolphins preview video is going to be out Monday. So just keep in mind, programming note, if you guys watch the podcast every week, it'll be out tonight. Jaden will be on the podcast today. We'll try to get that out ASAP. It'll be our reaction video to Tied in One. Everything gets thrown out of whack. Left toe injury for Joe Burr. Victor says he was a 60 Minutes fan in the 80s. One of a kind anchor there. Okay. And yeah, it seems like it's definitely a historical show. Touches on some big subjects. They do investigative journalism over there, I believe. But yeah, it's never something I tuned into because usually it's on, during Sunday Night Football or during some other sports that I never flip it on. But yeah, I think maybe a couple of clips in like classes throughout high school and college they've shown 60 Minutes reports this, and I don't know. We just gained another sub. Thank you guys for subscribing. We'll be consistent for you this year, I promise. Whole lot of videos, whole lot of streams. Between the Bills and Sabres streams, I mean, we're going to be doing close to 100 streams, maybe over 100 streams in the next, 4 or 5 months, which seems insane, but going to be the case. And hopefully I can add on more than 82 for the Sabres. Hopefully there's playoff hockey in Buffalo at some point. And of course, hopefully I can stream a Super Bowl. I don't know what we do, like if the Bills make the Super Bowl, which I've just ruled out of the question because I don't think that'll ever happen. Just from what I've seen, it never goes right. But if that were to happen, I don't know what we would do. I don't know if we would stream with like there's just again, if the Bills were in the Super Bowl, there would be stuff happening everywhere. I feel like I'd be inclined to stream. I just don't think it would be from here. I think it would have to be from some big watch party or something. But we're a long ways away from that. Again, if the Sabres do make the playoffs too, there'll be streams. But I'm gonna do everything I can to be in the plaza for theirs. And there is a thing right now too. Mark this down. If the Sabres do make the playoffs, we will do a 12-hour stream before the first party in the plaza. We'll be downtown 12 hours before it starts. Say it starts at 6 p.m. We will be there at 6 a.m. live the entire time um, before that plaza gets going, before the game. I'm willing to do that because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, and they never do. But if they do, that'd be fun. And a lot of it would be us kind of walking around with nothing to do. But I think it'd be cool to see Sabres fans just showing up randomly throughout the day in the plaza, all excited for playoff hockey. And it'll be a fun stream if that does happen. So mark that in your calendars. Probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen for another 10 years. But when they do, we'll be there. Fredonia and Cincinnati, both black and orange. Victor says, looked like Burrow is grabbing his foot as he lunged forward, or grabbed by the foot. Okay. If it's a toe injury, though, not the worst case scenario. But something that we have to monitor for sure. And turf toe or any toe injury is really hard if you're a running back or receiver to plant, to get those throws on. Joe Burrow, a mobile quarterback, but not, his strong suit, I could say. So again, if he's got a toe injury, he should be fine. Might be out a little bit, but nothing season ending. Georgiev, Lions, UPL, and Levi. I mean, where else would you rather be than the KBC on October 9th? Probably anywhere else. Last time the Sabres and Rangers were the home opener, I was at that game. Move Gaming was at that game. And the most entertaining part of the game was the Rangers fans in front of us getting kicked out because the Sabres put up a garbage performance. Anyway, we are back underway here. Second half. Kickoff. Codrington fields it at the goal line. Takes it out to about the 17. He's not bumped down, though, and crawls forward to the 21. That was actually Ty Johnson with the return. McDermott says the defense doing a good job. That this drive is big. Got to separate and make this game unobtainable for the Jets. First and 10. We'll see these halftime adjustments and what happened at the half if Glenn got these guys fired up on the defense. First play, James Cook up the middle for 6. And now we got some pushing and shoving. The rookie Jackson Hawes getting into it. No flags. Total yards. Bills had 247. Jets had 78. That tells you the story of the first half. Second and 3 now. Allen hands it off to Cook. He's got a hole, and he goes for another 6 to 7 yards. That'll be a first down. So the run blocking has been good this game. The pass blocking has not. James Cook continues to find the hole. Spencer Brown moving 2 guys out of the way on that one. First and 10, Bills. Allen hands it off to Cook again, and he finds a hole for around 5 to 6. So it seems like the Bills' game plan here is to pound the rock, take some clock off, and hopefully end up with some points. The Jets have a couple guys questionable to return to the game with A groin injury and a leg injury. That handoff to Cook, and he goes way backwards. That's going to be a loss of about 5. That takes him under 100 yards on the day. So here comes that Bills offense spamming the same play over and over again. It finally doesn't work. Brings it back to 3rd and 10. Something you can't do. Can't go backwards there if you're James Cook. Ty Johnson, the 3rd down back, lined up out wide. Allen has time to throw, finds a guy over the middle. It's wide open. Elijah Moore caught all the way down the 40, gets around the edge and out of bounds at the 30. Elijah Moore, the defender covered him. It looked like slipped down right as the ball was released. There you go. 31-yard gain for Elijah Moore. Somebody who has to have a big season if the Bills want to have success this year. In the slot opposite Khalil Shakir. And yeah, got wrapped up with his defender, and a slip down left him wide open for a big completion. Elijah Moore from the Browns. 1st and 10. Bills are going to throw it again. Allen, that ball is batted down and complete at the line. Looked like he was going somewhere towards the sidelines for a minimal gain anyway. 2nd and 10. Second and 10 for the Bills. 11:44 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Elijah Moore in the backfield. See if the Bills pull out a little bit of trickery. Allen looks. Fires out wide to Shakir. He slips forward for the 1st down, something he does so well. First time Shakir's touched the ball all game. Caught it about 4 yards of the line to gain and was able to kind of just slip forward. Finds the hole between the defenders and goes sideways to get through them. 1st and 10. From the 21. 1 yard away from the red zone. Hand off to Cook up the middle. A couple pancake blocks. Cook only gets around 3, though. Bills outgaining the Jets 305 to 78. That is what we call domination. Huge block by Spencer Brown on that last play on Harrison Phillips. The Seahawks tied the Steelers. Thank you, Elijah, for the update. 31 people in here. Leave a like. Subscribe if you guys are new. Helps out a lot. Bills are now in the red zone, 2nd and 7. Going to go out wide to Cook on a sling pass. Cook spins forward. Gain of 3. 3rd and short approaching. Third and 4. The Bills haven't really gone downfield too much this game. The Jets have done a good job of keeping the Bills underneath them. Let's see if they do that same type of a defense and if the Bills can find something soft in the zone for a gain of 4 or 5 to get that 1st down. Kincaid in motion. And they hand it off to Cook up the middle. It goes for nothing. Questionable call from Joe Brady. And now Matt Prater comes onto the field to kick a field goal to make it a 20-point game, potentially, if he makes it. See if he can stay perfect. So a very questionable call. Run it up the middle on 3rd and 4. A 33-yard field goal should be a chip shot for Prater. No win. Snap, hold, kick up and right down the middle. 23-3. I guess we'll take it. We'll take the points, but cautious play calling throughout that entire drive. Dolphins are up 17-15 on the Patriots. Snickers barbecue. I have seen people talking about that. I know they dropped some new sauces. Got 40 people in here. Again, let's get those likes up. Let's get those that subscriber number up. Thank you guys for tuning in. As the Jets are now 20 points down, but far from out of this game. That was a big hold by their defense to keep this obtainable. Now they're going to have to start getting their offense going. Cincinnati and the Jags are tied up. The Giants are about to take a 6-point lead on the Cowboys, pending a field goal. The Dolphins have the ball, it says, too. So the Dolphins could potentially make that a 2-possession game if they score a touchdown. San Francisco still in control against the Saints. The Steelers on the goal line against the Seahawks. And the Rams tie it up against Tennessee. Fast Food Toy Review says, go Bills, go Bills. Thoughts on the Dolphins fans GoFundMe to fly a Greer/McDaniel banner over the stadium? Yeah, I would have preferred a touchdown as well, but we'll take the 3 points. Yeah, if you guys did see that clip right before the Dolphins game, there was a plane that had the banner. It was like Fire Greer, Fire McDaniels. That's acceptable. I think that is the right decision after their Week 1 performance. I think they deserve to feel some criticism after the way their team has kind of imploded on social media. They've kind of had the opposite of the Jets in the offseason. That culture I was talking about that the Jets were able to build. The Dolphins kind of destroyed any culture they had left. But as I always say, winning solves all, and a win today against the Patriots would put them in prime position to take the division from the Bills next week. Matt Prater is the same number as Mahomes. Who's the better player this year, Prater or Mahomes? Right now, it's pretty close. Speaking of Prater, he will kick off. Fielded at the goal line. He's going to return it. Interesting decision. And the Bills able to make a big-time tackle at the 16-yard line. Great special teams from the Bills today. So now the Jets will have to march down pretty much the whole field to get points. They're showing the college CBS slate next week. Doesn't look all that good. Clete Blakeman, the referee today, was a Nebraska QB from 84 to 87. First and 10 for the Jets. Could be a handoff. Paul up the middle for 5. Big 10 on CBS is criminal. It really is. Probably the worst part of the realignment. Fast Food Toy Reviews wants a pick 6. Let's see it. Handoff up the middle. It's going to be a gain of 2. Fast Food Toy Reviews has over 1 million subscribers. Shout out Fast Food Toy Reviews. He's calling for a pick 6. Let's see it. 3rd and 3. Looks like a false start. They didn't call it. And it's going to be, oh, big time hit by Benford. And I think he's going to be a yard short of the first down. What a tackle by Christian Benford. Hall had a wideout throw, and Benford blew him up. Central Michigan Chippewas lose by 60 to Michigan Wolverines. Yeah, that was an interesting game. Michigan was able to take it to them. Connor Stallions was somewhere. And the Jets are going to punt the ball away. Yeah, Jets are being outgained by a ton. Could this be a fake punt? Nope, they're punting it. Wow. He fielded at the 20 and a good tackle there. Codrington unable to get any yards after the catch. A good special teams play by the Jets, but questionable decision to go for that. Yeah, I don't know why they're still trying to run the ball. Fields was doing a good job when he had the ball in his hands, being a threat to run the ball or pass the ball, and they continue to just run up the middle and do these dink and dunk plays. They got to get Garrett Wilson involved more. Benford is having a great game. He sure is, showing the entire league how underrated he is. Codrington is the king of getting himself lit up on punt returns. Yeah, I'm not a huge Codrington fan. Uh, Again, he's got a lot of talent. He's got good speed, but the decision making is questionable sometimes. Yeah. Again, a lot of the kickoffs or punt returns, he'll catch them, and then he gets blown up, like you said, right away, or he just catches it and immediately runs to the sideline, tries to get like 2 yards. Not much there. So I wouldn't be opposed to trying somebody new at the kickoff position or signing a free agent. Just I don't know. He's been a little underwhelming so far. So always think there's a kick catch interference because yeah, he just doesn't call the fair catches and it's blown up. Well, just say the first time he fumbles one of these this year, there's going to be a lot of chatter about it. So we're returning from commercial. Certainly a different feeling at this point in the game than we were last week. Last week, towards the end of the third quarter, we were getting ready to you know feel the pain of a loss. This one looks pretty good. I don't want to jinx anything though. Victor says, I remember a while back saying it. If we could only get Benford and Trey White on the field together, now it might work well. Look at that. Got your wish. Davis in the backfield along with Jackson Hall is probably a run play. Sawyer, welcome back. Yeah, Elijah, big game tonight between the Chiefs and Eagles. Jackson Hawes in motion. It's going to be a play fake. Allen throws it out wide to Hawes. And he's going to have a nice little gain, around 6 yards. It says Pepsi will be at New Highmark Stadium. That's what they're saying. Pepsi products. Yeah, Sawyer, look at that. Return of Elijah. Shout out Elijah and Sawyer. Burrow has a scooter. Thanks. AJ Hamler reference. Cook up the middle. He's going to run for the first down. Gets an extra yard after that first down as well. So let's see if the Bills continue to try to do these little check down plays, run plays, get that clock moving. John says, anyone know if Josh got X-rayed or we don't know yet? They didn't say anything on the broadcast, so they might just wait till post game to do that. But he seems to be fine. And if there is any structural damage with that nose, which it doesn't look like there is, I'm sure he'll wear some sort of different face mask next week, but it won't cause him to miss anything. Allen throws it over the middle, and it is caught. Joshua Palmer, 14-yard gain, and another first down for the Bills. Keep that clock running. Yep. Got to keep that clock running here. But I like that switch up too. They think you're going to keep the clock running, and then you do a little play fake, find Palmer wide open in the middle. There's this Allen is hurt. He got punched in the face on a QB scramble that he shouldn't have ran. A bad play call from Joe Brady, and I think he's fine. Field position, they're right at midfield now. Gonna be a handoff to Cook, and he trucks over a defender, 6-yard gain. Cook is hype. Victor's really starting to like Palmer. Yeah, he's got to be your guy this year. If Keon Coleman can stay as a 50-50 jump ball threat, that's going to open even more opportunities for Josh Palmer to be the guy they choose not to cover, right? Because Shakir is going to get double covered. He's your number one. If Coleman could draw more attention, which he has so far this year, that's going to leave Palmer as your big pickup guy. Yeah, Mitch Trubisky came in and made an incredible throw. On 2nd and 4, it's going to be a 3-yard gain. Cook up the middle. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. Elijah said the favorite cheese is Colby Jack. Palmer is awesome. Yeah, really liking him so far. You guys are Sabres fans in here. You can now vote for a goal song this year. So leave some crazy ones on their website. Love to see some goofy goal song this year that kind of, pokes fun at the playoff drought. Maybe finding something that says something about that. Bills are gonna have to waste a timeout here. Lawyer says half his fantasy teams are losing. Well, you know what that means. Half of your fantasy teams are winning. Doing all right in fantasy this week. All right, let's take bets in the chat. The Mets have a guy on second with no outs in the 5th. Will they score a run? Probably not. We go to no commercial. Okay, just the timeout still. Fast food toy review says Sabres depress me, lifelong fan. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Sabres are the anti-Bills right now. Mr. Brightside is the Sabres goal song. Yeah, they might do that. Nice play fake by Allen. He's going to throw it downfield, and it is dropped by Dawson Knox. He's pleading for a penalty, not going to get one. Allen probably could have ran for that himself, tried the throw. And another drop by Dawson Knox. Seen a couple of those. Nice jerseys through fast food. Oh, about the Sabres, yeah. It's about the best thing the Sabres have had all for the last little bit. The nice jerseys, the gold jerseys, 50th anniversary ones, then goat head, royal blue, so good. 46 people in here. Be sure to like and subscribe. Looks like the Bills are going to go for this 4th and 1. And they're actually going for a rollout. Oh, Allen's going to take it himself with his legs. Stiff arms the guy. He's brought down, but there is a flag in the backfield. They're going to call defensive pass interference here. Or a hold on the defense. So that'll be declined. Well, we were a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Either way, that one on Sauce Gardner. It's going to be a first down. Good job by Allen to roll out, take it himself. And yeah, he just took Shavers completely out of the equation. So good call by the refs. And that'll keep this clock moving for the Bills. Good pickup. Buffalo should be ranked in the AP poll. Yeah, put them first. As Shavers. Bring back Hashik. Hey, Savers got some good goalies this year. Whole lot of mid. Hopefully one of the four can turn into a star. Shout out Laura Briggs. Yeah, you got to make it a little more difficult if you want Knox to actually catch it. Cook, big gain. That's going to be a 14-yard run up the right side. That'll keep that clock moving. We're now under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Yeah, Shavers got to really have a big play on offense, but definitely glad he made the team. We'll have to see when Gabe Davis gets healthy what they decide to do with him, though. Curtis Samuel, too. One of the receivers is probably going to have to drop out. Jacksonville up a touchdown on Cincinnati. At the end of this drive, I'll give you guys score checks from around the league. New Orleans is fighting back, too. Allen hands it off to Cook. Cook. Oh, he drops the ball! And somehow, some way, the Bills end up with the ball back. Spencer Brown was in the right spot to cover that one, but James Cook trying to do a little too much. Instead of just going down, tried to back juke, and the ball got ripped right out of his hands. Spencer Brown was right there to pounce on it, though. Wow, Briggs forced the fumble. That could have been catastrophic. So, yeah, let's stop with this nonsense. Let's just punch this ball in the end zone. Elijah wants "Howling for You" by the Black Keys for the goal song. Ray Davis in the game now. His handoff. Around 4-yard gain. We'll have a 3rd and 3 coming up. Again, if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe. We're streaming every Bills game, every Sabres game this year, and then weekly podcast videos, the whole shebang. Thank you guys for joining, though. 51 people in here right now. These Bills streams, we haven't been consistent with them throughout the years, and I wanted to be more consistent this year. So we're doing every single game, and I'm happy you guys could join me. Allen's going to throw it on 3rd and 3. Almost sacked, but he spins away from a tackle. He's motioning guys. He's going to take it himself for the first down, and he walks out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Heck of a play by Josh. And he's smiling, laughing about it. Spun away from a sack, and he does the little John Cena, "You can't see me" to the crowd. A couple months away from John Cena being retired, too. That'll be and we're looking at his nose right now, and it looks a little banged up. I don't know. Definitely a little. It still looks straight, but it is swollen a little bit, as Jim Nance just said. Got 60 people in here now. Again, if you guys are new, leave a like and subscribe. Helps out a ton. Yeah, we're doing every Sabres game. Jets crowd looks so defeated and deflated. Yeah. Fast Food Toy Review says, "Like watching live streams, mute my TV." I don't blame you. A lot of these announcers are bad. So thank you for joining me and us today as we watch this game. And you get a fan's perspective as well. But I don't know. Maybe I'm in the minority. I like Tony Romo as an announcer. I think he's hilarious. He's an Allen supporter too, which helps out. But him freaking out is always some of my favorite parts of the season. So again, I'm doing that impersonation video of all the announcers, all in good fun. But Tony Romo will be a major part of that as well. Cowboys took the lead over the Giants. Okay, Elijah. Yeah, Sawyer, I saw that. Big time subs. A YouTube king or queen. Royalty. You know things are going well when James Cook is smiling, right? James Cook is certainly a serious guy, and when he's having fun, things are going well. So we're at 3,128 subs right now. Let's get that number a little bit more up. We got a lot of people in here and streaming every game. Will be a big time day. Thank you guys for the support. Also, let's try to get that donation goal. Again, we're one donation away today from hitting that goal. If we could hit that by the end of the game, that would be big. But let's hope that the Bills can punch in a touchdown here, so then they can kind of ease the rest of the game. Maybe we'll see some more fourth quarter Mitch if this game gets out of hand too. And I think it still stands where Mitch Trubisky as a Bill is undefeated when he comes in the game. Whether it's for an injury or at the end of the game, I think he's undefeated. But we're returning. We flip sides as the fourth quarter is just getting underway. First and goal at the 5. Allen out wide to Elijah Moore. His first touchdown as a Bill. He's got it. Elijah Moore, former Brown, former Jet, little revenge in MetLife. Elijah Moore, first 6, 29-3, extra point. We'll put it as a 30-point game. And unfortunately, we have a Jets player injured on the play. It's going to be Andre Sisco. Patriots just scored to put them up. That's going to be a must-watch game. And Kincaid, huge block out wide. Dawson Knox inside as well on that. So Elijah Moore on these end arounds has been successful this year. Cisco now up for the defense, walking off the field without his helmet. Now a little bit of a jog. Good to see. Never want to see injuries. There we go. Smooth Gaming just put the donation goal on the screen. Let's see if we get it by the end of this game. As we head to commercial break, so we'll have to wait for the extra point as they deal with the injured player. I don't really want to rant too much about the NFL and their commercials, but again, it's an injury timeout. I get it, but he's off the field. Can we just kick the extra point? And because now we're gonna have to go to commercial, maybe twice, or have a 30-second ad in between the kickoff and the start of the drive. Let me take you around the league, though. Let's get you guys some score updates, and let's see if the Mets scored too. That'll be. They did. They got one run. Wow. Who did it? Soto. Let's go. All right. All right. Around the league, Cleveland hanging around in Baltimore, only 10-20. Cincinnati and Jacksonville. Cincinnati just tied the game up at 24. Dallas up by 1, 17-16 against the Giants. Detroit's got the game covered against Chicago. That game's over, 31-14. Miami down by 3, as just mentioned, at the end of the third. But they do have the ball. New Orleans has the ball, and they're driving on San Francisco. Keep in mind, San Francisco, without their quarterback, without their tight end. New Orleans, still the underdogs in that game, though. Seattle has the ball. They are moments away from attempting a long field goal to take the lead. Tennessee's going to punt the ball back to the Rams down 4, and that's the league right now. See if the Seattle field goal goes in. Jersey fans are like flat tires. Yeah, they are quiet. A lot of booze. I'm not talking about alcohol. I'm talking about screaming against their team. I know a lot of Jets fans are Mets fans too. So if you're a Jets fan in here, I feel your pain about the Mets. It's been a tragic little bit. We return from commercial break, and now it is time for Prater to kick the extra point. Hopefully the snap is caught, unlike Tyler Buckner last night. Peanut butter and jelly popcorn? Sounds intriguing. Prater with the extra point. Snap, hold, kick. It is good. So after getting iced with the injury timeout, he still makes the extra point. 30-3. Whole lot of Bills fans in that end zone. They're doing some whip around the crowd now. A lot of Bills fans. How do I feel about Notre Dame? Yeah, just disappointed. The defense is just a mockery. Bad coaching, bad play calls. It is what it is. Second best lacrosse/football player behind Chris Hogan. Yeah. Chris Hogan, of course, former Patriot, former Bill. I don't know if he played for the entire AFCs, but I think 3 of the 4 teams. Bills are lining up the kickoff. And now the Jets are really going to have to start airing the ball out. You need points and you need them quick. You're down by 30. Kick is fielded at the 5. Joe Andreessen on the tackle at the 32. And that's where the Jets will start a must-score drive. And bang, fast food toy reviews. $5 donation says, go Bills. Shout out fast food toy reviews in the chat. Smashing that donation goal on the day. W's in the chat. Thank you so much for everyone joining. Thank you guys for the support. First and 10 play. It's batted up and incomplete. That's Zion. Again, with a nice play on defense to bat that one up. W's in the chat, though. Thank you guys for the support on a somewhat blowout game, but you guys are showing up in big time waves today. Appreciate all the new people in here. I appreciate all the members and all the people who continue to come back week in and week out. Fields on 2nd and 10. Looks, he scrambles. Oh, it got dragged down as he threw it, and that goes out of bounds. Bosa with the near sack. 3rd and 10. Yeah, Allen not having a big day, 136 yards. Fine by me. I'm playing Allen in fantasy in a bunch of leagues today, but we will certainly take the win. And again, Allen didn't have to be Superman today. He had a lot of good plays on the ground. And there's a big time sack, and the ball's out. The Jets recover it. Joey Bosa, though, with a sack, strip sack, 4th and long. I think the Jets got to go for this. If they punt it, they're conceding. Wow. Joey Bosa. Doing more than Von Miller did here in only a couple weeks. Seattle big time on the Steelers right now, too. Jamar Chase has 30 points. Ooh. Oh, and Joey Bosa waving bye-bye to the Jets fans, and the Jets are going to punt this one. 4th and 19. And a punt that is fielded at the 30, and the return goes almost to the 40. Ball was almost ripped out. So now the Bills are in handoff, and if you don't get it, punt it right back. Bosa is hype on the sideline. This is a big year for Bosa, right? A contract year, 1-year deal, prove it deal. He's waving goodbye to the Jets fans still. What a stud. Derrick Henry has a 1 point. I hope Bosa can last the entire season. That's the big question mark, right? Can Joey Bosa stay healthy? He's always been a fabulous player. The issue is the injuries. I compare him to George Kittle, and not just because he kind of looks like him, but because just a top player at their respective position, but just the health always drags him down. Bosa staying healthy makes or breaks the season, yeah. And Bosa was somebody that nobody really wanted to talk about in the preseason, and I every time I would bring it up, whether it's a podcast or a stream or a video, in my mind I would bring him up and be like, "Oh yeah, we have Joey Bosa." Like he wasn't a big storyline going into the season, and the return of the red and blue practice, he came out and he was in street clothes and it looked like he just hit a lower body workout for 4 hours, how stiff his legs were. And that got a lot of people nervous. But he has been top tier so far. He got some pressure last week, and that last drive, he took over. Fields to the medical tent after that one, too. Prayers up for Fields. Hopefully he's okay. He's not having a good game, though. Yeah, I think Zion's doing a great job in place of Oliver against Zion. Friends with Daquan Jones, so for those two guys to kind of be side by side for at least a couple plays, this game was cool. 60 people in here. Again, if you guys are new, leave a like, subscribe. It helps us out a ton. It helps more people be able to find the stream and to join this community that has grown over 100 people in the last week or so, which is just incredible. Um, Again, if you guys are just general football fans or not Buffalo fans too, we do post a bunch of shorts. Okay, Justin Fields in the medical tent for a possible concussion. So a scary injury, not something that's going to put him out long term or anything like an ACL, but that has long lasting effects. You never want to see a concussion. Hopefully, it's just precautionary. Allen takes a snap. It's a handoff to Ray Davis. That goes for -2. As expected. Again, the Jets, they know the run is coming. So I don't think anyone is too. I don't think anyone is too worried about that. So how Seattle got up 10 on the Steelers, a kickoff went into the end zone and Seattle didn't touch it, and Seattle just rolled in the end zone for the touchdown. So an interesting play there. They just didn't field the kickoff, the Steelers, and Seattle just took it into the end zone. We've seen something like that in a Bills Jets game a long time ago. Allen under center, and he's just going to down it. He threw it in the direction of Spencer Brown. I don't know if that was a call to throw a screen pass to Spencer Brown. What's the screen to Spencer Brown? They're going to look at the intentional grounding, and it probably will be. Dolphins up now on the Patriots. What a game we got going over there. And they do call intentional grounding. Again, the right call. There's no receiver in the area, and it doesn't make it to the line of scrimmage. So third down and long. That's going to stop the clock, too, which isn't great. So now third and long. Everyone in the stadium is going to think the Bills are going to run it up the middle, keep that clock moving, and punt it away. Who do you guys got winning the Super Bowl this year? Let me know in the chat right now your Super Bowl matchup if you want to put your winner or both teams that make it. Third and 24. It's going to be a screenplay to Kincaid, and he actually ends up getting around 15 yards on that one. So still fourth and long. They're still going to have to punt, but a nice play by Kincaid. That'll help his fantasy score. So Sean McDermott 2.0, a.k.a. Cameron Johnson, a.k.a. the Bills' new punter, is in here for the second time today. His first one, got it down to the 10. Didn't pin him too deep. This one, he can show off his strength in that leg a little bit more, punting from around the 25-yard line. Elijah's got the Lions versus the Bills in the Super Bowl. Fast Food Toy Reviews has the Bills versus the Packers, Bills by 3. Certainly looks like the Bills and Packers are the two top teams going in, but I don't mind that Lions pick either. Good picks, guys. Johnson boots it. And that one lands out of bounds at maybe the 15. Well-placed punt. Didn't have a ton of distance on it, but He'll take that every time. And here we go. Justin Fields is out of the game. Our boy Tyrod Taylor entering the game. I've always liked Tyrod Taylor. I think Tyrod Taylor is a good enough quarterback to get any team to the playoffs. The only issue is his height. Obviously, that he struggles to throw the ball up the middle downfield, but he has a really good arm. And in college at Virginia Tech, he was if you look at some of his older highlights, he was dead on accurate by the sidelines. So yeah, big Tyrod supporter. I'm glad he's getting some action. And before Justin Herbert started in the league, he was supposed to be over with the Chargers, but they had that whole ordeal where the doctor like punctured his lung, giving him some sort of injection. Just a crazy series of events to lead Tyrod to now the Jets. Yeah, good punt by Johnson. After Brad Robbins was apparently the worst punter in the league last week, and they cut him. You got 78 people in here and 30 likes. Let's get that number up. If you guys could just take a second to like that, let's get that number way boosted. It does help us out in the long term. I know I keep saying it and it's annoying, but the more likes, the better for us. And it's completely free. It takes like 2 seconds. Appreciate you guys. 31 likes now. Let's get that number up to 50 by the end of the stream. 30-3 though. I mean, this is a mauling, and this is a Jets offense that looked very solid against the Steelers defense, which is supposed to be a decent defense at least this year. Got to be one of the biggest streams you've done. Yeah, the whole lot of people in here. I appreciate everyone for joining. All the new people. Again, if you guys are new, leave a like and subscribe. Stick around. We'll be live every week, every game. I think our biggest stream we've done, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was the Four Nations games for hockey. The semifinal game and then the final between the United States and Canada. And that was an awesome one. What a game that was. Went to overtime. Unfortunately, Canada won. But I know we got a lot of Canadian Bills fans, so you guys are probably happy about that. But yeah, that was a great stream. And this one's great too. Steelers aren't that great. Plus, it was week 1. Yeah, Steelers, especially after that knucklehead play they just had, looks like they're gonna start out 1-1. Yeah, Four Nations had thousands. Yeah, that was crazy. But 1st and 10, it's gonna be a false start. Tony Romo saying, it makes sense when you have a backup quarterback in there. They have a different, vocal range. They have a different, different keywords, different way of doing things. So false starts happen. Tyrod gets rushed, airs it out. He's gonna find a wide open Garrett Wilson. He gets chucked out of bounds by Cole Bishop. And here we go. Cole Bishop is fired up. A little bit of a scrum. There is a flag after the play. If you're Bishop, you can't do that. Better now than in a close game. But taking out some of his frustration, lifted Wilson up and body slammed him out of bounds. Little too much there. See what the call is. Okay, so Cole Bishop called on after the play. Going to be unsportsmanlike conduct. So I don't think it's on the body slam because I said after the play, so it's probably on the push when he gets up. The 1st and 10 for the Jets. Tyrod getting blitzed. Bull rush. He's able to scramble. Daquan Jones, of all people, able to keep up with him and push him out of bounds. Maybe a 1-yard gain. So Justin Fields is still being evaluated in the locker room. So that's why he's not out here. So we don't know if he has a concussion or not. But at this point in the game, you probably just leave Tyrod Taylor out there for the safety of Fields. Tyrod bouncing around in the pocket, looking for something, and he is brought down. He gets past the line of scrimmage. Solomon was able to get to him as the Bills have a majority of their backups in on defense now. So it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Jets. And the 49ers, Mac Jones, a nice catch there, puts them up 26-14. So it looks like the Niners will win that game after a brief scare. 3rd and 6. Tyrod goes out wide to Wilson again. And fumble, he lost the ball. And he's able to get it right back, but it's going to be a 4th and 2 now. Good job by Terrell Bernard to get out there and force the ball out. Fields is a bust. The Jets would hope for a top 5 pick. Yeah, I was hopeful for Fields after last week. He started to show signs of improvement. He was hitting his top targets, making smart plays. But today, the Bills' injured defense was too much for him. 4th and 2. Tyrod Taylor up the middle. He throws it, and that is complete for a gain of 7. First down. Smith with the completion. I don't know if Jim Nantz just had an aneurysm or something, but before that play, he said in quotes, "Will Bobby Babbitt bring it?" Is that like onomatopoeia where it's the same letter of each word? I don't know. Definitely didn't say his name right. I'd love for someone to clip that one. And Tyrod's wrapped up by Cole Bishop, and he makes the sack. Big time loss of yards. Tyrod unable to get away from Bishop. There you go. Cole Bishop, after that penalty, able to make a big play. And Cole Bishop, very high ceiling, but he's just been injured for so much of his young career so far that he hasn't got the reps. Yeah, Arch Manning, potentially. Yeah, Arch Manning could be a special quarterback. And we do have a timeout on the field. The Jets are going to call a timeout with 9 minutes exactly. Joseph, how's it going? Says, let's go Bills. Welcome in. Yeah, Bishop's blitz was a little closer to the line of scrimmage than last week, where he didn't even get to the line of scrimmage by the time Zay Flowers completed a 20-yard catch. Spam it. Go Bills in the chat. Let's do it. Throwback Sunday on CBS next week. Elijah, bold take. Because Arch Manning should be Josh Allen's backup. If Arch Manning ends up having a bad career, he could certainly end up being a backup. Seems like that's what the Bills do. Like, right, Mitch Trubisky, another guy who was a bust who ended up being here. Tyrod 2nd and 20. Bills contain him, and Tyrod scrambles up for 2 yards and goes down. So 3rd and long. 75 people in here. Let's get some more likes and subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the support. We're up to 39. Let's get that number up to 50 by the end of the game. I think we got this. Uh-oh, Cam Lewis is down and injured at midfield. Cam Lewis, the emergency cornerback, but also a huge part of the Bills' special teams. You'd hate to see him get injured. So 3rd and 18 after Cam Lewis is able to get off the field. He's up and he's holding his hip. So hopefully just a stinger or something. He's limping a little bit. Hopefully just a little bit sore after a hit, and he'll be fine for next week. Tyrod gets the ball. Joey Bosa breaks through, and Rousseau almost picked that off at the line, batted it down. And now a 4th and 18. We'll see what the Jets do here. Reginald said Bills incredible today. Yeah, crazy good game. Miami now up 4. Good job, New England defense. Oh yeah. Again, I don't know who we should be rooting for that game. It's still so early. I don't know, what's gonna happen there. And the Jets are gonna punt. 4th and 18. I guess that's the right call. Keeps playing like that. He could get a day 3 flyer. Yeah. Block, how's it going in the chat? Arch Manning, number 16 for the Bills. Fair caught at the 15 by Codrington. Jets fans displeased as we head to commercial break. When we come back, I want to see the Bills run that clock out. And you know who it's time for. Smooth Gaming says, 4th quarter Mitch. First time. We got 90 people in here. Smash that like button. Fast Food Toy Review says, always wants the Cheatriots to lose, talking about the New England Patriots. Elijah thinks they're going to lose. Antonio, welcome to the chat. New England kick return for a touchdown. Whoa. Yeah, it's tough, right? Because technically Miami has a little bit more talent than New England, but New England's projected to be the better team. So who do we want to win? New England, we don't have to play for a little bit. Miami, we play next week. Who are we rooting for in that game? You could ask 10 Bills fans. I think it would be 5-5. Got to root for the team you think is worse. So yeah, New England up in that game. Seattle up big time on Pittsburgh now. That game's probably over. Rams, same situation against the Titans. Looks like that game's going to be over. New Orleans is close to scoring on San Francisco. They're down by 12, but a touchdown gets them right back in. Dallas is down by 3 to the Giants. The Jags are up on the Bengals. The Ravens up 27-10. That game's over pretty much against the Browns, although the Browns are close to scoring. And then the Lions up by 30 against the Bears. So it looks like the Bears are going to be another disappointment this year. Caleb Williams, not the quarterback they wanted him to be. Ben Johnson still has a lot of work to do. But look at the Mets score, and all of a sudden they're up 2-0. Surely they won't blow a 2-0 lead in the last 3 innings. When's the last time that happened? Yesterday is the answer. We're going to smash Miami. I sure hope so. Last time we played them on Thursday Night Football, it was a beatdown. Yeah, hopefully Miami. If Miami loses today, let's hope they stay winless. Matthew says, listening from Croatia. Only way to get updates from here. Thanks, go Bills. Thank you for watching. So we've had, what do we got? Croatia now, Ukraine. We have Portugal and Peru so far in the chat. Worldwide Bills. 84 people in here. And smash that like button and subscribe. And we do have the donation goal still says 0 of 1, even though that was hit. But we do have donations open if you guys want to, and membership as well. The membership is super cheap. It's like a couple bucks a month, like $1 or $2, depending on what tier you do. And then you get some members only content, early access to videos, a couple hours early. Sometimes it's a day early, depending on what videos. And then you get the emotes in the chat. 2nd and 7, Bills call a timeout. Play clock was expiring. Miami chat, I just followed, pulled the plug after the New England touchdown just scored. Haha. Oh, man. Buffalo Bandits get 4, Pete. Bandit season starting pretty soon, I guess, like a month from now. Going for 4 in a row, that'd be quite historic. Bills' upcoming schedule: Miami, New Orleans, New England, Atlanta, and then the bye week. So We knew that going into the season that the second half was going to be a little harder than the first half. Just had to get by the Ravens in the first half. Mitch hands it off to Ray Davis, and he is swarmed at the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2, and thrown to the ground after the play by McGregor. Not Connor McGregor. So it's going to be 3rd and very long. Let's see if they let Mitch throw the ball. They'll probably just hand it off or throw a screen. Fast Food Toy Review says, love the Bandits. I've gotten really into it the last like 5 years. You know, watch those championship losses before they finally got the win, and now 3 in a row. Try to watch it when it's on. Nice that they started covering it again on local TV as well as ESPN Plus. 3rd and 8. Mitch is throwing. He throws it in the direction of Shavers, but miscommunication there. Overthrows him. 4th and 8. That stops the clock, and now they got to pump the ball. Johnson, McDermott 2.0 lookalike out there. Oh, and he's hit in the backfield. I don't know if there's a flag out or not. And the return goes to about the 45. No flag. And they were talking about the Bills Chiefs, and I'm pretty sure we got our first big game Gabe of the year from Tony Romo. They're showing the first time these two teams matched up, the New York Titans against the Bills at the Polo Grounds. And the New York Titans won 27-3 against the Bills. Still pains me that this day that loss against the New York Titans way back in the day at the Polo Grounds. Tough to sleep at night thinking about what they could have done to win that game. Anyway, Hall on the handoff, tackle downfield, 6-yard gain. I think Dallas just took the lead over the Giants. Sanders 4-yard rushing touchdown. Those are 6 consecutive AFC East division titles. Here we come. Yeah, they've been quite dominant, huh? Tyrod over the middle and incomplete. Damar Hamlin on the coverage. Bills backups are in. And Damar Hamlin's going to get some reps. Let's see what he looks like back there. Safety position is wide open. Polo Grounds, my favorite MLB ballpark. I agree, smooth gaming. Yeah, Victor says Tennessee Titans. Yeah, they were the New York Titans back then. I guess that's where the lineage goes for the Jets. So, yeah, New York Titans. When they turned into the Jets somewhere along the line. Tyrod pump fakes in the pocket. He's rolling out. Hit from behind. Gets the throw out, and it's incomplete along the sidelines. Good coverage by Dorian Williams. 4th and 4. You got to go for it. They'll keep the offense out there. Wow, Miami took the lead right back. What a game. Slugfest. Players excited for the Yankees game. Yeah, baseball is kind of weird. Where like as a fan, I know like every game matters now, but like mid-season, sometimes I'll just get randomly excited for a Mets game out of nowhere. I'm just like, you know what? I really want to watch the Mets today. So I feel you there. Jason says Hamlin due for a turnover. I hope so. Again, Damar Hamlin not a starter this year, but it'd be cool if he could get a pick here in garbage time. Tyrod throws it over the middle, and it is going to be a first down. TJ Sanders tried to tackle him, but his forward momentum on the tackle got him an extra 4 yards, and it'll be first down for the Jets. Okay, keeps the clock moving. We're at 46 likes. Let's get to 50. 4 more people got to hit like. Let's just hit that goal real quick in the chat. Real quick. Tyrod looks in the pocket, finds an open Garrett Wilson. He'll be shoved out of bounds for a first down. Nolan says, is James Cook still in? He was taken out last drive. Ray Davis is now the running back. And when the Bills get the ball back, I highly doubt we see James Cook back in the game. I think he had a big day. He can sit on that bench and relax. Let Ray Davis get some reps. 1st and 10 for the Jets. Tyrod again scrambling. This time he's going to get some positive yards. Gained a 15 as he goes out of bounds. Houston Oilers. Then, yeah, the Titans. Titans were the Oilers, yep. And then the Jets used to be the Titans, and it's all confusing. But the more far back you get, the more crazy it gets. Where like this team was this for 2 years and then that for 2 years, but finally we're pretty consistent in recent times with these team names. And the Bills call a timeout before this 1st and 10, 4:40 to go in the game. Yeah, we still have relocations going on. We still have, teams moving cities. Had a name change with Washington. 2 name changes. There might be another one coming up, I'm hearing. Glad this game wasn't an anxiety-filled game. Last week was too much. Yeah, a much-needed break for Bills fans. You had an exciting first half, and then the Bills came out, got points after the half, and that was the moment where most people could kind of sit back. Yep, Dallas Cowboys up on the New Jersey Giants. I like the terminology there. Houston and Tennessee still fighting over who the Oilers belong to. Yep. Very confusing, the NFL history. Maybe I'll make a deep dive video on some franchises. Throw over the middle. It is caught. Buffalo Joe and Damar Hamlin on the tackle. About 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4 coming up. Jets are getting close to the end zone. 52 likes. We did it. Thank you guys for hitting that goal. That's big time. Thank you. Got to be a handoff to Allen. That's Breland Allen, not Josh Allen, of course. And it'll be 3rd and 2. That might be the first time Breland Allen's touched the ball. Interesting. 86 people still in here. Thank you guys for joining this one. Again, we'll see you next week, Thursday Night Football. We will be live. Move Gaming says he has Allen in fantasy. Not a big day, but maybe he'll punch it in for a touchdown and save the day for you here. He is in the backfield next to Tyrod. 3rd and 2. Going out wide for a pass. Tyrod's going to target him, and he drops it. Dorian Williams, good coverage. And now a 4th and 2. The Jets will go for it. Tua just turned the ball over. Oof. Jacksonville forced to kick a field goal, so that game's going to go down to a final chance for the Bengals. And yeah, New England up. Wow, that might be game there. Tyrod 4th and 2, and that's blown dead before the play. Let's see. I think the Jets called a timeout. They did. So the Jets call a timeout. Rams up 33-16 on the Titans now. Wow. Tua is destined to be a backup. Yeah, with those head injuries too. I don't want to speak too early, but if Tua continues this trajectory of his career, I wouldn't mind seeing Tua retire early. Still a ways away from that decision, but I don't know. He's had so many head injuries that you'd hate to see him get one more. 4th and 2, 3:30 to go. Tyrod flips the play. Breece Hall back in, so anyone with Allen in fantasy, sorry, he's not out there. Tyrod throws it to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Jets. Jeremy Ruckert. Well, what a defensive blunder from the Bills. I mean, I think I might just have to revoke my fandom after that drive. Disgusting defense from the Bills, and the Jets get right back in the game with a late touchdown here. Obviously, I'm joking. Third stringers almost held them. Bishop and Dorian Williams were on the coverage there, and he just found that soft spot in the zone right on the goal line. Good drive by Tyrod and the Jets. Extra point pending. Snap, hold, kick, up and good. And it is 30-10, 20-point game. With 3:28 to go, maybe the Jets try an onside kick here. You got nothing to lose. Uh-oh. Smooth Gaming says Mets game tied. Of course it is. I mean, it's unreal here. Ooh, blew it. Reed Garrett, of course. And Carlos Fire Mendoza in the chat. Carlos Mendoza is the worst bullpen manager of all time. I know. How dare we give up a garbage time touchdown? 20-point game. See if they onside kick. The onside kick, again, you have to clarify that you are going for the onside kick before you kick it. Here we go, onside kick. And the more I look at the CBS setup this year, I love it. I love the scoreboard. I think they could keep this one for a while. I like the little box in the top left with the scores, no ticker, so we have a bigger screen of the field. Here we go, onside kick. Nick Folk, the veteran, kicks it over. Buffalo Joe lands on it, and it is Bill's ball. That'll do it. All right, Fast Food Toy Reviewers, thank you for all the support today. Have a good one. Elijah says Ravens up 34-10 on the Browns. Big bounce back win for them. Since 2018, the Bills' second best record in the NFL. The Jets tied for the worst in the NFL. Oh, how the tides have turned. Of course, Jets fans were telling us for the longest time during the drought that they are, second fiddle to the Patriots, and they had that big playoff run the one year. They are lost right now. So to the 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Mitch Trubisky hands it off to Ray Davis. Davis slips forward for a gain of 2. Three minutes to go in this game. Have a couple more plays, 2-minute warning, and then maybe some knees. Jason says, feels like one of the reporters now with the garbage time. Aren't we proud to be officially the only real New York team? Because the Jets and Giants play in Jersey. Yeah, that's been kind of the narrative set the last couple of years, right? They want people to know that we are the true New York team, but I know a lot of people in Buffalo don't really want to be associated with New York and like the city and all that. So it's an interesting debate. You see a lot of sides to it. Mitch Trubisky this time pitches it to Ray Davis. He's got first down yardage, slipped forward. He could have had a lot more. Cedric Van Pran Granger in the game on the line. John says, now I worry with Trubisky in. This game's over. You can relax. It is over. Elijah says Lamar Jackson as your best friend's soccer uniform number 8. That's cool. Josh Allen's nose is still bleeding a little bit. That's not good to see. Got a bloody towel. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. They did give Ray Davis the first down. So when we come back from commercial break, we will have some knee downs. So I don't know if I'm in the majority or minority here, but I would like to impose a rule for next season where the 2-minute warning can be voided if both teams agree. Because for games like this, the only thing it does is allow advertisers to shove more ads down our face in commercial breaks. Speaking of advertisements, this stream is sponsored by, just kidding, no sponsors. Maybe one day we will have some sponsors. Again, there are some things. Again, some people sometimes email us stuff, but I don't know. We had a sponsor. I'd want it to really match the vibe and something that we could, respectfully sell you guys on. I don't want, a clothing brand or something to sponsor us or something random. I'd want it to be Buffalo based or something that I would feel good promoting, something that I've actually used before. It is funny these sponsors that some of these guys have, and it's like it's a sports thing, and it's like, yeah, this is sponsored by, I don't know, like some like meal prepping thing that they've never used, and they just oh, I love this Factor meal prep or something. Pizza flavored Pepsi. I think Elijah could probably work on that and set us up with a sponsor. I'd be okay with that. Sponsored by Mountain Dew eggnog. Another one that I would be proud to present to you guys. Let him throw the ball. Hey, Slade, you might have missed it. Mitch Trubisky had one of the best throws this season when he came in on that one play in the first half. Mets are cooking in the bottom of the seventh. Out rally potential. Again, if you guys are in here, hit that like button. 79 people, only 54 likes. So there are some people who haven't liked it. It takes 2 seconds. Appreciate it a lot. Lay's candy corn and Dorito candy corn. That could be something else. And our second donation goal is at 40 seconds. So if anyone wants to hit that donation goal before we end the stream, that'd be much appreciated too. Let's see if anyone can get it before this game ends. 2 minutes left. Heck of a game though. Thank you guys for joining us. So here comes Mitch. Money Mitch. Fourth quarter Mitch. Kneel down time. Number 1. Elijah Moore does a backflip after the first kneel down. I don't know if I love that. I don't know. Sawyer with the $1 donation, bang, at the buzzer. And for some reason, the earlier donation did not trigger the goal, but that one did. Bang, Sawyer W in the chat. Sawyer, one of our top tier supporters here, a member, always dropping in. Shout out Sawyer, thank you for the $1. Again, you guys, $1 may not seem like a whole lot, but it goes a long way. Another knee down by Mitch. If you guys don't know how YouTube payouts work too, there's a goal that you have to reach to get paid out, or else you don't get anything. So it's not like a consistent revenue stream. So every little bit gets us closer to that goal, to the payout. So thank you guys so much for the support. And I love doing this sort of stuff. And to have 81 people in here right now is big time. So thank you guys for a blowout game too. As this game unwinds, again, be sure to subscribe. We'll be back Thursday Night Football against the Dolphins. And then every game after that. Bills got one more snap. They're going to take down the Jets today, 30-10, a 20-point demolition. Now, Elijah Moore might have done another backflip. He was kind of out of frame, but that'll do it. 30-10. Next up, Josh's Dolphins. Let's go, Buffalo. Go Bills in the chat. And yeah, Josh Allen has owned the Dolphins since coming into the league. We'll see if that holds up next week. They're gonna have a little bonus coverage now. They're gonna throw us over to this Miami game with 1st and 15. And I'll stay on stream for the last minute of this game, sure. 1st and 15 for the Dolphins. It's a game that matters to us. If you guys want to stick around for a little bonus coverage. Dolphins around midfield, down by, I think, 6. So apparently Achane had a touchdown, but it was called back because he stepped out of bounds. So they're at like the 35 in New England territory. A touchdown wins on this game. Tua Under center on 1st and 20. He heaves it way deep. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 20. Elijah Moore aura farming. Yeah. That throw was intended for Waddle. Overthrew him a little bit, double covered. Another game to keep an eye on. Cincinnati's driving. We got a whole lot of good games here at once. Dallas down by 3. They're in field goal range though, so we got 2 potential overtime games after this one too. Second and 20, we got another stoppage here, so I don't know who called timeout. A punt return and then a kick return back to back. They're saying, "Wow." Malik Washington first for the Dolphins, and then the Patriots got it right back. Antonio Gibson, the former star running back, I'd say, kind of disappeared with the Patriots. Big time return. So yeah, both these teams are 0-1. Don't really have anyone we're rooting for here. Just kind of see what happens. Detroit put up 52 points against Chicago, and they're still going. 2nd and 20. Both teams have 1 timeout. Round midfield, a little past it actually, at the 36. But 2nd and 20. And you need a touchdown. They actually took the timeout away, so Miami has none now. Tua over the middle. Eskridge, but a good tackle. And now we're going to have 3rd and super long. Clock's still moving. The clock did stop, though. I don't know. Okay, so Miami got their timeout back, and now they used it. Okay. So they do get a timeout, 3rd and 12. Now Miami uses their last timeout. Whoever's run the CBS scoreboard is all over the place. So, you go. Miami 3rd and 12. From the 28-yard line, they need a touchdown. Tua scrambles outside the pocket, and he runs out of bounds for a gain of nothing. So 4th and 12. This next play will be for the game. Have a good one, Sawyer. Tua. Game on the line. Tua gets sacked. Milton Williams gets the job done. The Patriots will get their first one of the season. Wow. Down goes Miami, and an angry 0-2 Miami team will go against the Bills Thursday night. Well, that'll do it for the stream. Thank you guys for joining. I will stare at the screen until it goes off. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for joining. Keep in mind, podcast will be uploaded tonight, preview tomorrow, and then Thursday Night Football next week. Have a good one.